All right, Flawless Trials team. You guys ready?
I need to craft my weapon before I get going flawless.
Oh, ain't no way. That's hold on. You can use that stuff in trials? No.
Yes.
Talk to Andy. He just did. I also saw Jura Demon was doing 11 million damage with a Rufus's Fury auto rifle.
Look, we need to craft these weapons and we need to get in the raid and slap that Crota around.
And with my rig, it's going to be way too complicated. I'm not even messing with it.
Just slow down your internet. That's all you gotta do.
It's not my internet.
I will lend you some children and they will slow it down for you.
For people with M.2 hard drives and all this other crap and blah, blah, blah. Actually, you can craft some exotics. Can you do these shenanigans with the craftable exotics?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, yes. 100%. Revision 0, Dead Messenger. Yeah. I mean, people are taking the Osteostrika poison perk and putting it onto
anything else,
like the Mida multi tool or the mini tool, the SMG.
I've seen a linear fusion rifle with cluster bomb effect in trials. Wow.
Well, going over to trials.report, the Amuck AR2 auto rifle currently has 46% of the kills in trials this weekend.
Oh god.
46%. 3.7 million kills. Number 2, Rufus's Fury with 3%.
Oh my goodness, that is
so we're in an Amuck AR2 auto rifle meta.
Yeah.
A broken Amuck AR2 auto rifle meta? Because,
it's the auto rifle meta that you've always wanted.
Conditional Finality is up there at number 3 with 157,000 kills. Just, 3.6 million kills behind
Oh my god, stop killing my eggs! I'm trying to make a Beyblade of Death, and you keep killing them when I suspend them. Oh my god, I hate you so much, Mr. Maneuvers.
I love recording a podcast while you're playing.
I can turn it off.
The game or the podcast?
Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. Dedicated in bringing you all the latest information, news, and opinions. This is the best show for new and veteran Guardians alike, where we share tips, tricks, and tools to help you succeed and enjoy playing even more. So with all that said, let me hand you over to your hosts, the Triumph Hunting Titan Night Demon, the pink-panted pansy Peroty, and your Hunter Master Ranger, Mr. No One Respawns in Real Life!
So I suppose we better start the show then. There is a show to get going.
Is there?
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. We're here to talk about Destiny, as we do each and every week. And
about how it just killed itself with next season's changes? Yeah?
No.
Actually, not even next season. Okay, so we're on the whole shenanigans.
No. Before we get going.
What?
Introduce us.
What?
People need to know that you're the angry one, I'm the sane one, and he's the enabler.
Oh, you got the balls to take my ball?
Oh my god.
Yeah, he just took it. I mean, did you not see him just take your ball? So now he has the ball. That's how that works.
I'm trying to make the ball, and I finally do it, and he takes my damn ball.
Respawn.
What? Yeah, what?
Introduce us then.
Okay. I am No One Respawns in real life. I am the most stable, well-rounded, and non-angry person here. Then we have Peroty, who is by far the most unstable member of the team. And we always have to keep him in check because, honestly, the second you stop paying attention, he loses his mind. And then we have the poser Night Demon, who pretends to be a good guy until you get him in PvP, and he starts to run his mouth like a drunken sailor.
Arr.
That sounds right.
One of these things are true. Which one is it?
I think we haven't done enough sailor talk.
Not that kind of drunken sailor. That's a pirate. Not a sailor.
No, pirates and sailors be the same thing, me hearties. Yar.
Didn't we have complaints about this from some of the listeners?
Dislike, comment, and unsubscribe if you too enjoy the pirate voice. We know you already have.
Yeah. Somebody's gonna come into the show, and they're gonna start listening to it, and as soon as they hear that, nope, not this week.
Nope, gone.
Maybe next week. Oh man,
dear.
how long did we do that? That was like a couple of weeks, like a whole month of Pirate Boys, wasn't it?
No, we did a whole episode, didn't we?
We did multiple episodes.
Yeah,
Maybe.
there was more than one.
Yeah,
okay.
There was absolutely more than one. You did it to the point where people began to complain. So,
Yeah.
Which tells you people are paying attention.
And people are listening. Yes, they're enjoying sending in their feedback. I will say.
Hold on. A trace with dead messenger makes a stream of grenades. What? Hey, Red
Slowly,
Killer Croc.
but surely, chat is going to convince him to go to the Enclave and fiddle about with his
I'm
settings.
not going to do it. I'm not going to. I
He's
would
not
love
gonna
to
do it,
watch
chat.
other people's videos.
Yes,
I want to
yes,
see
he
some
is.
other people do
You
this.
know
But
he is. At some point, he's going to try it.
I can't. It's too much for me to do
See?
it.
Too much.
He wants to solo Crota by doing 12 million damage with a hand cannon. That's
Oh,
what he wants.
Actually, this would be a good week to do the raid. Huh?
That's what I just said to you. I have a Crota checkpoint.
Yeah.
Let's go. Anyway,
Do
if
you
you've
have the
been living
crafted
under,
weapons?
sorry,
Do you have the crafted weapon that we can take advantage of?
No.
Oh well, then. What's
Yeah.
the point?
so you do it. You guys do it, or find people that have done it, and we'll get in there. Anyway, if you've been living under a rock or you've been sleeping for about 12 hours, you may have missed the insanity that is going on in Destiny 2 as we speak. This is Saturday, the 16th of September here, and there is madness going on in the Destiny world with people crafting whatever weapons they like because Bungie has broken the game. Well, we don't know if Bungie have broken the game recently or if this is something that's one of those things where we spoke to Cheese before and we spoke to Froggy before. Things are hidden in the game that people know about, and sometimes they come to light and sometimes they stay in the dark for quite some time. So we don't know whether this is something that has stayed in the dark for some time and people have been exploiting weapon crafting, but it's now out there in the whole community. Cheese has got he's got a whole platter of cheeses for you of insane weapon crafting and how to do it. If you go to his channel, it's kind of, he just shows you with text on the screen. I think Lucky 10p did here's how to do it, visually and talked you through it. So I'll link a couple of those videos in the show notes if it's still going on, because Bungie have acknowledged this in the tweet. If I can find the tweet.
Yes. Yeah, Bungie helped us say, we are aware of an issue that allows specific weapon perks to be crafted into other legendary weapons and are investigating a fix which will result in these weapons being reset in the future. We currently don't have any plans to disable Trials of Osiris due to this issue. They also go on to say, per our ban policy, players who discover an exploit will not receive any in-game restrictions or ban. However, the use of external scripting and network manipulation tools are still bannable offenses and subject to security review. So this is a bug in the game. If you take advantage of the bug in the game, you will not be banned. And network manipulation does not count as, streaming a bunch of video, downloading a game in the background of Steam. That is not network manipulation if you use your internet while you're doing this.
Fair enough.
First of all, I can't do a Scotsman, so I don't know why you punish me by unsubbing. Tell Night Team to do a Scotsman. He lives around there.
It's I'd be doing a disservice, and if I did it, Scottish people would hate me for the rest of my life. They hold grudges.
Well, yeah,
He's close
that's
enough
kind of
for
their
that
whole
to
thing.
Yeah. Anyway, why are we talking about Scottish people? We're talking about us.
Because T-Rex said do a Scotsman voice or I'm unsubbing. It's like, I don't even know how to do that.
No.
I wouldn't even begin to know how to pretend to know what they sound like.
Yeah.
Someone doesn't listen to the PvE podcast then.
Not even a little bit.
I forgot where my train of thought was going.
Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Well, no, I was talking about
crafting is broken.
Yeah.
The tweet about crafting being broken. They've acknowledged it and are investigating a fix, but have no ETA on a fix yet. So, right. I mean, through the weekend at least, trials will be up, and they do say the weapons will be reset. So, yeah. So if you craft a crazy thing, your crazy thing will become uncrazy at some point in the future.
And if you're asking why and how Bungie would know, because each crafted weapon has a birth date on it. So they'll know, unless you've kind of fiddled with your internal clock of your kind of Xbox,
well, we don't
PC,
know
or
if that's how they're going to determine the changes.
Of course it is. They'll go, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and then they'll find the outliers of going, okay, so these two perks shouldn't be on this. You need to be reset for anybody that had it prior. I'm sure that's how
Yeah.
they'll do it.
Yeah,
Andy,
yeah.
are y'all
they-
seeing what Andy's doing?
They could take a look at the weapon and go, here's the list of perks that should be on this. If there's anything that is not in these perks, reset it to
That would actually be
that
highly
list.
complicated to make, Peroty. Imagine making a function that's got to look at all the perks of all the weapons, compare it to what it used to be, compared to what it is now, and then reset it if necessary. The Bungie thing would be easier.
No. Like this is like these are newly crafted weapons. Like this is not recrafted. It's this weapon didn't exist and now it does. And just say if this starting at this
right, but
this
they
date and
gotta have a
time
function
to this
that's
date
gotta
and time.
compare they would still have to take the weapon, compare it to the perks it's supposed to have, and compare it to the perks it currently has. That'd be a very complicated program to put together.
It's a SQL query or something along those lines. And you say, here's a list, reset it back. If these mount, because all of these things, like when we see the API stuff get updated, like all of these have numerical values. So here's a list of numbers. If this list of numbers isn't one of those lists of numbers, reset it.
Okay.
And again, how they're going to do it, that's, none of us are developers, which goes without saying. But
with the SQL query you're talking about, it'd be a hell of a query. It'd be like,
well, yeah, I mean, obviously they're not running this game out of a MySQL database either.
Yeah. Dude, what if they were? That would explain so much.
No.
Oh yeah, no, the whole
not
thing is
running on Unity.
Unity, yeah. Okay. Let's go back to the Atari freaking days too, bro.
Someone doesn't know about the Unity drama. We're not going to get into it though.
Okay. Yeah, well,
But we did have an update this week, guys. We had Destiny update 7.2.0.3, which gave us match wins in Trials of Osiris give you a high chance to drop a non-adept Trials weapon. So all you need to do is win.
Sir?
Yes.
So here in America, the 7th of September was last week that we covered on that podcast.
I'll give up.
I mean, I'm not sure. I know the dates in your country are a little bit different.
Yeah, it's around the other way over here.
But I'm pretty sure the number of days is still the same.
I give up.
You should. Yeah, overseas they don't do September 7th. They do the 7th of September. So,
although granted, it is worth telling people they did increase the drop rate. So if you are going into crazy trials, you'll get more things to drop out of crazy trials. So that's not bad.
Yeah. Well, speaking of trials, Andy just went flawless using a one-shot incandescent Austringer with a shotgun frame and a grenade launcher with a shotgun frame and enhanced mulligan, which equals unlimited grenade shots that go across the map.
Okay, here's my request for the people this week. TwoTitansAndAHunter@hotmail.com. Take a screenshot of your craziest crafted weapon. I don't care what you crafted it for. You don't need to go flawless with it. Take a screenshot of your craziest crafted weapon and just send it to us. TwoTitansAndAHunter@hotmail.com. I would like to see your collection of crazy weapons.
So much better. Yes, I want to see them in use too.
And yeah. If you've got a clip or a video, point it somewhere public. Throw it at us. Link in the Discord if you're there. Shoot us an email. Hit us up on whatever. I would love to see the crazy things people have crafted and how they're functioning.
Oh God,
that's my request to you, our lovely community of listeners.
A one-shot Austringer with a shotgun frame. That makes hand cannons so much more evil.
But we do have some news to talk about in This Week in Destiny, or the TWAB, for the 14th of September. See, I got that one right, didn't I?
You did.
Even a blind dog finds a bone.
So last week we had the final call for the Guardians of Maui fundraiser. We had an update from the PvP strike team.
Did you just say a blind owl finds a bone? I'm sorry.
Blind dog finds a bone.
Blind dog. Okay.
But I heard blind owl. I might use that in the future.
And I was even more confused.
A blind owl could probably find the bone as well quicker.
Yeah.
Anyway, they asked us to show us our tessellation clips. So if you paid to get the final shape, you could enter last week's tessellation clip contest. They told us about the new ritual armor set that's now dropping in-game. And we had a world's first race interview from the winners. This week, they've got some explaining to do. And there's some info on Peroty and his challenge mode and his master mode. We have a new PvP update and previews for Season 22 and 23. Checkmate enters the Crucible Labs next week. They've improved the Trials weapon drops, which I to kind of talk about. So it was in line with that.
Yeah.
We look at the tessellation clips and see who from the community has won that. This week's Destiny's Player Support Report from Peroty, and Art and Movies of the Week.
Now I've missed something. T-Rex says if it has a screen, it can run Doom. I agree, but what the hell brought that up?
I don't know.
Yeah, it just seems correct overall. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I've seen people put Doom on a wristwatch, so yeah.
Wristwatch, toaster.
One of those digital Casio wristwatches. I've seen people put Doom on that thing. Anyway,
so
yeah.
It's Shard to say goodbye.
Yeah, the changes there. I'm not on board with that, dude.
So what are the changes? Tell me what's happening.
Okay, so they're getting rid of all of the legendary shards, right? But they're not going to, quote, increase the cost, they said, but they are. Because instead of using shards, you're not going to have to use engrams, right? And the worst part is this. So you just you take apart a legendary weapon, right? Well, you used to get shards and glimmer. Well, now you're going to get glimmer and 1/4 of a chance, aka 25%, to get a enhancement quarter drop, right? For an exotic, you're going to get 60% of an enhancement core to drop. So most likely, if you're going to be dismantling your legendary weapons, you're probably only going to get glimmer, because the chance to get that shard is really, really small. And on top of that, they're they're eliminating any and all currency returns for dismantling sparrows and ghosts. You'll no longer get any currency back because... Actually, no, the ghosts you will. Sorry. The sparrows and the ships you won't, right? Because they're going to remove the cost to pull them out of your collections. AKA...
like that.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, a lot of people will store these sparrows for currency so they can use at a later date, right? So if you had 250,000 glimmer or whatever, they store it so if they ever need glimmer, they can just dismantle some of these sparrows. And that's for people that actually have something called inventory space, which I'm still concerned is a myth.
Yeah, but I'm kind of on board with this. I mean, your legendary shards are your purple shards that you get from dismantling stuff and just from completing events in the game and chests in the game and things like that. But I mean, they do point out that some players have more than they could ever need to spend, while others continue to struggle. Like our email last week from Melo. Just the struggles of new players coming into the game and having to deal with glimmer, shards, enhancement prisms, enhancement cores, golf balls, this, that, this. I mean, they say it, there is so many kind of bloated currencies and consumables in the game that their goal for a long time has kind of been trying to understand this and reduce the bloatedness of the currencies. So to get rid of legendary shards is probably a good idea. I mean, how many exploits have you guys seen, even in the last year, of people exploiting to get legendary shards? Now, if you've got the time and effort to sit there and do that, you can exploit the game like we've seen this weekend with the weapons to max out your legendary shards. You then have unlimited resources to buy things. Like you could go to the tower and buy enhancement cores, enhancement prisms from Rahul for like 400 a pop, and it doesn't matter to you because you've got unlimited supplies. All you have to do is go there each week, purchase your like 4 or 5 from him, and that's it. So I completely understand where they're coming from of reducing this and just getting it out of the game.
Yeah, it's. I mean, like they said, like this is one of the currencies Destiny launched with.
Yeah,
and it's been a long time. I mean, the focus is
becoming 9 years or so.
I mean, the focus is becoming more on Glimmer and the new stuff anyway. So it's sort of it's one more thing that you just have for everything. And
yeah, but instead of using legendary shards, which we all have, we're gonna have to use engrams instead.
Yes, but they're going to make that better for you though.
Right.
Though? Because we already have issues with storing these damn.
Those aren't. You're not storing those engrams. Those don't live anywhere.
Okay.
I mean the exotic and the legendary ones, but like the rest of these, like they don't live in a place where you have to manage. They live on the
but
vendors.
you're going to be spending these exotic and legendaries more often now because the shards are going away. So now you're going to have to stockpile them, and then you can have how many stocks Raul has? 10? Not Raul. So you have your onboard inventory, which is 10, I think. And then you have your inventory inside of the mailbox, right? Hold on, let me see how many you have on you. It's 10 on you, and then however much space you have in your mailbox, and that's it. You can't put them in your vault. They don't store them in its own little arbitrary place with infinite space. No,
But-
you don't have that.
I mean, but they live on the vendors with infinite space. Do I need to actually pick up an engram and carry it with me somewhere, or can I pull it from the vendor I'm trying to talk
using a
to?
vendor, that's true. But if you're going to be so if you buy something that used to require shards, but now requires an engram, is it a vendor engram, or is it one of your legendary engrams, or is it an exotic engram?
No,
Which engrams are they going to be taken?
It's going to be an engram from the vendors. So at the moment, you can pick up a tracker that goes in your consumables that tracks all your engrams that says, this is how many you've got with this, person in the tower or wherever.
Right.
And they did say that they're going to increase the drop rates of the engrams, so you'll get them more often. So rather than kind of get them, the tracks will go up faster, basically, I think, or they'll put different, different, what's the word? Increments. They'll put different increments on like Shax's reward track. So rather than just having to go from rank 13 to 14, it'll probably go maybe up into like quarters. So you'll get 4 engrams in one rank rather than just like the one at the end of the rank. Yeah. I mean, they do say that it's still a work in progress, but they wanted to kind of let us know now before we kind of get there.
Yeah. I mean, everywhere where I'm crafting a weapon, it's a weapon that's at a vendor. Like if I want to go craft a gambit weapon, I'm going to the Drifter. If I'm going to go craft a crucible weapon, I'm going to Shax. He has all the engrams on him.
But what about when you go to the forge, right? You don't need shards for the forge? I can't remember. It's been a while since I've crafted a weapon.
Well, no, they'll probably take that out of the forging mechanic. They took out the resonant alloys and the resonant. I've just got rid of them actually. Traded them in at Rahul because they were just sitting in my inventory. But the resonant stuff that we used to have to get to pay for it, and you used to have to play Glimmer. The Ascendant alloys, which are the exotic ones, you'll probably still need to do some of the stuff.
And focusing apparently costs more engrams too. They've increased it from 4 to 5. So things are becoming more expensive because the shards are going away.
But
people have shards. We don't have an abundance of engrams yet.
Exactly.
But we will. Like, I mean, just playing the game gives you piles of engrams.
Yes.
Playing the activity gives you engrams.
The only issue that I can see with this, though, Peroty, is that the engrams do get reset every season. And maybe that's one way that Bungie is going to try and control the amount of things that people have. So at the start of a season, you're not going to get like loads and loads of people with lots of currency, because if the currency is the engrams, your engrams are reset at the beginning of each season. So you'll have to work on building those back up before you can then start focusing stuff, which is a way of them controlling it.
Oof.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless they take that out now.
Right. I mean, not hoarding materials, fine. Like if there's...
Why are my enemies invisible, guys? Sorry, but all of my enemies in the last 2 strikes have been invisible. WTF.
Now's a chance for you to go to the Enclave and craft that weapon.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, I think like everything else, there's always lots of consternation when they make this change, but it's like, let's see how
that's a big word, Peroty. What's that mean? Consternation.
Consternation.
Yeah, what's that mean?
People are moaning about things without seeing the changes or without having an idea what the changes is, but they're moaning because it's a change. I mean, we'll see. It is what it is. I've got bigger fish to fry than trying to spend my 15,000 shards between now and then.
But
which again, I have because they're ill-gotten. So.
Look, see, guys, yeah, I don't deserve them.
I'm at like 12,000 as well, but I didn't kind of do any nefarious things to get them.
Same. I don't have 12,000. I'm at like 2 or 3. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's even for people who were just playing the game and not didn't take advantage of any of the places where you could just get an infinite number of them.
Okay.
They're kind of like Glimmer. They're sort of just infinitely renewable, and they're not really worth managing. Like no one's running around being like, oh, I need shards, unless you're just like, again, brand new and just don't have the materials at all. Like there's just not a lot. It's like Glimmer. You can just go get more. So it's like one less thing to worry about.
Next season or next week? That's next season, right? That change goes through?
Starting in season 23, non-adept focusing will cost ritual engrams and glimmer only. Yeah. Focusing adept weapons will still require 7 wins in the Trials Passage or Nightfall Ciphers. So yeah, it's the start removing them from season 23.
Okay. Now, is there a way to turn shards into enhancement core?
Yes.
Okay.
Cheese Forever has you covered.
He does, and we will link that video in the show notes. And Cheese does recommend you do this every week. And you can nip to Master Rahul in the tower, and he will sell you such wares for a price. And let's just nip over to him now to give you the price on such wares. So in your materials exchange at the top of the screen, he will offer you for 400 legendary shards and Ascendant Alloy. And you can have at least, I think is it 5 of those a week, I believe? Or maybe it's a couple of those, or maybe it's one of those a week. I can't remember because I've already picked it up. You can have enhancement cores for 30 legendary shards. You can pick up, I think that's 5 of those each day. And then you can purchase enhancement prisms. Again, there's a limited number that you can get each week for 400 legendary shards. So if you've got a vast amount of those, you can start purchasing them now from Master Rahul. And he does Cheese in his video does go over other places that you can spend your legendary shards, which will help you in the game going past season 23.
Okay. Okay. Not like I don't want to waste them, you know what I'm saying? But if I can turn them into cores and shards and fragments, then yeah, absolutely.
Do it now.
I'm out of space though.
What do you do if you're out of space?
Well, then you go.
So you're fine.
You check whatever else that Cheese recommends you go and purchase, because there are a couple of other things in the world that you can purchase that will be useful for you later on in Destiny. For now, anyway.
Okay.
But the new item costs as follows. New ritual weapons is 1 engram and 0 glimmer. Standard ritual pool weapons are 3 engrams and 5,000 glimmer. Standard ritual pool armor is 3 engrams, 5,000 glimmer. Legendary weapons is 5 engrams.
5 engrams? Golly! I thought it was expensive when we needed 3 because I was running out fast, but 5?
Yeah.
Who's really picking up ritual armor unless you're trying to farm for it?
I am. Every season I farm for higher level armor at the end of the season, dude.
Right. And at the end of the season, you'll have plenty of engrams.
But I'll have almost 50% less armor than before, because when it used to cost 3, now it costs 5, which is almost double, dude.
But they're increasing the amount of engrams you get to compensate.
You have a limit. You don't get infinite engrams. There's a cap.
There isn't. What? You can get infinite engrams at the vendors. You keep playing the different places, you get infinite engrams. They just store on the vendors until such time you need them.
That's what I thought. Somebody pointed. Let me see if I can go back and find the message. But somebody said to me, "There's a cap on the vendors."
Well, yeah,
I don't know what it is, but there's a cap.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a cap somewhere. I have 64 at the sonar station. Is the highest single thing I have at this point. So I don't know what the cap is. I don't know if it's 99, if it's 9.99. I don't know what the cap is. Actually, no, it's at least 3 digits because I feel like I've had more than 100 before. But I mean, so if it's 999,
yeah,
I mean that seems like a reasonable cap for you just to have those and then glimmer because you have to run back and forth to buy more glimmer to spend them all anyway.
Yeah, legacy weapons and legacy armor is 5 engrams and 15,000 glimmer. Iron Banner is 5 engrams and 25,000. Nightfall weapons, 5 engrams, 25,000.
Iron Banner. You think you're going to get that many engrams in Iron Banner?
No, but look. Yes. Adept Nightfall weapons.
Yeah. No. Iron Banner throws weapons at you.
No.
AKA the same weapon at you, but they don't throw engrams at you.
They do.
I have not that many. I have 15 engrams, and I played 2 or 3 nights. I did not reset my rank. I have
2
15
or
Iron
3
Banner.
nights and you only got 15? So that means you can
Okay,
craft 3
Okay,
things.
but by 2 or 3 nights, I mean I played for like an hour or two. I didn't like grind 8 hours. I did not spend a lot of time playing Iron Banner, and I have 15 engrams. It is not the engrams drop much more than you see them drop.
Yeah.
They're sitting. If you go and look at the little tracker, I bet you'd have a ton of engrams sitting in places you had no idea they were there.
All right.
Like I have 18 Gambit engrams, and I've only played like the first week of this season, and that's not even a full reset.
I've played a very limited amount of Crucible, but I've got 38 engrams just sitting there, and I think all I did was play Iron Banner. I played the odd 1 or 2 game here and there, but 38 in Crucible. I went through my Iron Banner engrams because I was trying to get my roll for the new scout rifle, so I took those right down to 0 again. So yeah, it's they do stack up, and if they're going to give us more, then I don't understand that inflating the economy just to make it better. Why don't they just reduce the costs? But hey ho, this is their plan going forward. That they want to give you more engrams so it looks like it's doing better, but whatever. So Adept Nightfall weapons, it's only 1 engram, but 50,000 glimmer and 10 Nightfall ciphers. Trials weapons, 5 engrams and 25,000, and Adept Trials weapons is 1 engram and 50,000 and a 7 win passage.
Yeah, there's if they're going to be doing this, especially the closer we get to 99, they said the cap is 99. I see in the chat from multiple people the cap is 99.
I feel like I've had more than 100 at the war table. I feel like I had like 126 after last season in the war table. So I feel like I've seen 3 digits. I'm almost positive.
But yeah, what I was saying before I read the chat is that they need to increase how many alloys, cores, and prisms you can buy from Raoul if this is going to be a thing, because we're going to end up losing out on these, man.
I tell you what, they do need to increase the glimmer cap, and I know this has probably been talked about from everybody from their grandmother up to like.
Yeah, I just ran out after buying 4 cores.
Yeah,
it's just,
100%. Yeah. If I'm spending 25,000 glimmer on something, I need to, and I have a way to get more of that glimmer. I need to be able to get more of that glimmer quickly without having to travel to a different location and speak to a man.
Agreed. Yeah, and that man needs to have more than like 1 or 2 chances to use it a week.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, I've still got like rainmakers that I can use, and I've got like all the other things that I can kind of convert from the world into glimmer. But if you're going to take away people's ability to kind of store up glimmer in other ways, like Respawn was telling us, the sparrows and the ships and things, which is one way that people kind of stored glimmer from one season to the next by purchasing them when they had excess amount of glimmer, storing them in their vault, and then when they needed them the next season, they would dismantle them and get the glimmer back. If you're going to do that, you definitely need to increase the glimmer cap. And I'm not asking for like ridiculous amounts of glimmer or just unlimited glimmer, because then that would be silly. But something very reasonably high to compensate for this.
Mm-hmm.
Take it to 500,000 or 1 million. If I'm gonna have to use glimmer on everything, and glimmer is not hard to come by, let me have more of it.
Glimmer is also not hard to program into or to store that numerical value. You know, it's different from Vault Space, where they have to store every single different weapon every single person has. Right?
Don't get me started on Vault Space again.
It's just one function with a numerical value per person. That's not going to tear up a whole lot of RAM on a server. You know, why even put a cap on glimmer at all?
Because
why?
I've just told you. Did you not hear me?
No. Why they put a cap on glimmer? No, I didn't hear why you said that.
Because.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because what?
Because they said so.
Because what?
Because Stone Cold said so.
Yeah.
I don't even know who that is.
Well, you don't argue with Stone Cold.
Stone Cold Steve Austin tells you and you listen.
Stone Cold. He's retired. He ain't doing nothing to me.
He's not retired. He was only at the last WrestleMania fighting people.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sure he was.
And he says so. So listen to him when he tells you. He's not going to say it twice.
I've just seen The Rock on SmackDown, so they're not that old. They can still come out and have a fight.
What year is it?
I know.
Yeah.
Look, they're setting him up for a big match come WrestleMania 40, I think it is. He's got to start kind of showing his face now, hasn't he?
Because I just saw him on
Pat McAfee.
no, I think it was Kentucky Ballistics.
He's not acting right now, so you gotta have something to do with his time.
No,
I guess.
it was a YouTube channel where you got to shoot a bunch of guns, right?
I suppose that is one way of getting out of the Actors Guild thing. If I'm going back to the wrestling thing as a gig that I can still get paid for.
Is John Cena also coming back? Has he
was back.
shown his
He was back
face
a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
There you go.
Ah.
Yeah. John Cena needs to stay in the ring anyway.
Wait till it extends to the Video Game Actors Guild, which may already have happened.
Oh dear.
Or writers voiceover, yeah.
I don't know why it's silly. I think Night Demon's high.
What?
Nothing.
What's silly?
You.
Night Demon's silly? No, he's not silly.
No. I'll tell you what is silly though. The Crota's End numbers. Do you want to know how many people entered?
Almost 600,000.
Guardians downed.
Almost 6 million.
I say that we contributed at least 50 million to that in just trying to get through those lamps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm surprised there's a hole to fall into at this point, and it's not just all stacked up all the way with bodies.
Yeah,
I want to know which encounter has the most bodies. It's got to be the first. But I want to see by how much.
Oh yeah, it has to be because that's where people get stuck and gave up.
5 million are from the holes.
Yeah. Of the 53 million people down, 50 million are from the first part.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Yeah,
stupid holes.
And there's a lot of hours spent in the raid. I'm guessing this is for the contest mode for the first 48 hours. Quotas end at world first race. So yes, there was millions of Guardians that got downed, and quite a lot of people entered, and we spent a lot of hours in there.
53 million people died. 248,000 got out of the first encounter.
You might not be wrong, my dude.
I mean, they have the numbers right here. Guardians that cleared the Abyss, 248,041. Like, that's what I'm saying. Not quite 500,000 got out.
I thought meant like the Abyss was like a pseudonym for the entire raid. Like you got out of the Abyss, out of the whole raid.
No, because they also have
just the first encounter.
Yeah, because of that 248,000, 145,000 got through the throne bridge, and then 78,000 of those defeated your Ute, and then of those 78,742, 37,720 defeated Crota.
Okay, well, Noble, it's all fake anyway, so who cares?
But if you enjoyed that, the master version is coming to Crota's End this coming week. So there you go. And they're improving the drops for the essences.
That I did like. I did like the guaranteed drops if you complete the whole thing. Yes, that's so much better.
So I think we went over this last week. So if you do complete the raid and you manage to beat Crota, you can go and touch his little sword that's dropped in the ground. And
sir, we're trying to keep this podcast PG.
Well, okay, it's a big sword that's dropped in the ground.
Definitely trying to keep it PG.
It's a sword in the ground.
It's literally a sword. Some of us have gotten through the raid.
It's the raid vendor. Okay, basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if you go and touch his sword, you have to go into the.
Stop touching swords!
Oh my word!
Okay, go touch wood.
Oh, that's even worse.
It's not wood. It's like some kind of hive bone. Anyway,
so
go and touch the hive.
Bone. Yeah,
guys.
You have Crota's bone, and you can get an auto rifle.
They're being incredibly vulgar. I don't.
You go and get the Husk of the Pit auto rifle to start the quest to get the Necrochasm. Now, a lot of people, and I think we pointed this out last week, that DCP podcast from Miss 5000 Watts pointed out that you can't really do it in the raid. You only kind of get. It says you get more points to kill Hive in the raid, but it doesn't seem to be working that well. I was with somebody that was at the Crota encounter and wasn't getting any progress whatsoever. So I found that probably the best thing, I thought, I'm just going to go to the Ghost of the Deep dungeon. I'm just going to go in that first encounter and just stand there and mow down the hive that kind of run at me. And went within 5 minutes. It was very quick. I then got my Ideal Ally to drop. And so far, I think I've got 4 Oversouls that I need, so that's pretty good. I'm on my way to getting.
I've only done it once.
Only done what once?
The raid.
Okay. So how many Oversouls do you own?
I just said 4.
Well, there you go then. That's what I've got 4.
I know, and you've done it more than me. WTF?
No, I haven't.
He's done it almost once.
Before you started recording, you said that you've consistently been going in and helping people complete the raid. I've done it once.
No. I said
multiple times.
No. Before we started, I said I've been going in and trying to help people. I didn't say anything about completing it. I just said I was trying to help people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so instructions unclear.
Trying and succeeding are very different things.
I joined a group. Must have been the other night. Just for an hour while I was waiting for dinner to cook, and I had a Crota checkpoint, but I joined a group that were at Crota and needed some help. So I joined them. The guy that they were trying to help didn't know left from right, up or down, and it was so horrible. It just went horribly wrong. But we just still persisted, and they kept trying to give him the job of doing the boot cannon on Crota, and he was like on the other side of the map, and it's only a small map. And he was like off in a tower, and we were like, where are you? Are you going to come back?
The large man we're trying to kill is here. Your services are needed.
Yeah. But yeah, I've tried to help people with the raid.
Okay, fair enough.
So yes, essences
is
oversouls
going because of the whole everybody's got OP weapons. I think I'm gonna do it after this podcast. Actually, I might even do it during the podcast.
So essence of oversouls are needed to complete the Necrochasm quest and its catalyst. So unlike what Respawn was saying last week, it's not 50 in total. It's 20 for the Necrochasm and then an additional 15 to get the catalyst. So they've heard our feedback, or they've just panicked and gone, oh my God, we need to increase this rate. So they're making some improvements with the update 7.2.0.4, which arrives on September 19th. So for starters, your first full clear of Crota's End each week will now provide 2 guaranteed Essence over Oversouls. The guaranteed weekly drop from defeating Crota, and additional drop, which is guaranteed for beating each encounter in order from start to finish. So basically, if you grab an LFG team, you've got to do it from the beginning to the end.
Yep.
So you might as well do that hidden raid chest as well, the red bordered weapon. If you're sticking with the same group, you've got to stick with them to do it all, I think. That would probably be the best thing, because if you're going to in and out of raid groups just to kind of get the box checked each week, I don't feel it's going to go good for you. So yeah.
Well, somebody's being awfully negative.
Well, no, I'm just saying that Bungie are saying if you do it from start to finish, you're guaranteed 2, one from killing Crota and one from doing each encounter. But if you like me, if you jump in and out of different teams and still get each encounter done, I'm not sure if that's going to count. It might do, but I'm just saying Bungie are saying start to finish.
Did they say in order? They did say every encounter, but did they specify
each encounter in order from start to finish? So then every time you do a full clear, you'll still earn that additional guaranteed essence. So there's now a way to farm them. So that's good, isn't it? And they've also increased the drop rate of random essence of Oversoul from repeated clears of each encounter, so you can earn even more per try. And finally, they're adding a chance to strike it lucky and earn all of the essence necessary to complete both the Necrochasm quest and the catalyst when taking Crota down during the full run. So just like getting the exotic drop in the first kind of contest mode, you can now get it all done for just doing the whole raid. So there is a chance. They don't tell us how much that percentage of a chance is. It's probably like
not
1.0.1% chance like it is getting other exotics, but you may be that person. So good luck.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Bungie saying there's a chance.
Bungie is saying there's a chance.
Yeah, there is a chance.
And with that, a new challenge approaches. So starting from Tuesday reset, there will be the master difficulty available, and the challenges will be available on a weekly rotation as well. So I have the challenges written down for you. So next week's challenge that I've kind of, I do go over in this week in Destiny a bit later on, but the Crota's End raid challenge this week will be the first encounter, which is Enter the Abyss. It's called Conservation of Energy. Guardians must alternate between depositing the Chalice of Light in a podium and enlightening a lamp. So that'd be your first one. And then, listen to the show each week and I'll tell you what, each challenge is for each one. But that's this week coming up. And if you do it on the master difficulty, which offers not only a higher chance for players, but also a different kind of reward. So each week you'll get the armor drops with a particular stat focus. So they did this with, I think it was Vow the Disciple, didn't they? So each week the stats would rotate. So you would get a high chance in getting mobility one week, discipline another week for doing the master challenge. Also getting the extra slot on the armor for the raid armor. But you also get adept weapons in Crota's End, which allow for weapon enhancements. So this is what Respawn was telling us about like a couple of weeks back with the crafted weapons from Root of Nightmares, wasn't it, Respawn? That you get an adept weapon that you can then craft with specific perks on there, depending on what you got to drop initially. Here we go. So the adept weapon you get is going to be random. So it's not going to be like on a list each week for Root of Nightmares. It was like this week you can guarantee to get the
knockout system, which is better.
Yeah. No, but yeah. But Root of Nightmares was on a list system, so you knew guaranteed each week, like the auto rifle would be up this week. So if you did the challenge mode on master difficulty, you would get the adept version of that, and you could go and play that over and over and over again, and see if you could get the stats or the perks that you wanted on that adept role. This one works differently, so it'll be on a knockout system. So you'll get a new one with every challenge that you complete each week until you've unlocked them all. And then once you've done that, it'll probably be a random chance.
Yeah, then it'll be random, yeah. Also, when Noble said you didn't give him credit for helping you with the raid.
Why would I do that?
Ooh, why would he do that indeed, Win Noble?
I wasn't talking about our raid, Noble. I was talking about somebody else's.
Mm-hmm. You see
so
that? You can't trust him.
So that means you guys didn't complete it the other day?
No.
That's what I was going to ask. I was half watching you guys play while I had to go to the office, which was very sad. And I meant to check back in and see if you had completed it, but never had a chance. That's too bad.
But I feel that even though we didn't complete it, I feel that Noble and I kind of helped guide people to the point of that they understood the Crota's kind of encounter a lot better. And by the end of the 3 hours, we were able to actually do damage on Crota. So people understood all the different roles a lot better. So that even if they then joined an LFG team that was a bit more cohesive, that they would be able to fit into that team and help do something in that team. They say, I know how to do this point, and I can deal with like boomers, or I can deal with the ogres, or I can deal with swords. So everybody was kind of learning as they were going, and Noble was really helpful in kind of helping people get through that and trying to explain to them about what to do and what roles we're going to do and where we're going to stand and what we're going to be trying to accomplish in this run. So yeah, it was good fun for it was about 3 hours that we played. But no, I wasn't
nice.
I wasn't talking about our run earlier, Noble, but that was our run.
Yeah, but they've already said in the chat that he was nothing but a stepping stone for you. And he's heartbroken, upset, and offended. Oh, goodness. I love stirring the pot.
You do.
It is fun.
So will you be stepping into the master difficulty to get your adept weapons next week, Respawn? No?
I mean, I would say yes, but it's Crota, and I just don't like Crota. I gotta honestly, probably the weapons are pretty good. I should.
The weapons are very good, and that I think that's one of the things that's kind of inspired me to go in there. I think it's also comfort zone of that I know the raid inside and out from Destiny 1. A bit like Vault of Glass. When Vault of Glass came back, I was confident that I could go into a raid team, and no matter what the differences were between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, I could pick it up and still run with it. And I feel the same with like Destiny 2 with the Crota's End.
How did that work out for you though? Just out of curiosity's sake.
What?
It worked out great. We were able to get a small child playing. What was he playing?
Saxophone.
Yeah, because saxophone through. So I'd say it worked out great.
Yeah.
How long did it take though, man? For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, one of our special episodes, they did a raid, but Night Demon's son was in the raid, and instead of actually contributing to the team, he would stop and he would start playing a saxophone.
No, don't you take it away from him. He got to Atheon before he kind of got distracted with, oh, what's this shiny thing over in the background, and running round behind Atheon as we're trying to down him rather than actually do DPS and playing saxophone. So
the saxophone didn't happen.
No, the saxophone did happen.
It did happen, but not until Atheon. See, you guys have done Voltaglass challenge mode. We've done Voltaglass Saxophone Edition British challenge mode.
Honestly, that's way harder. I'll give you credit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys do regular challenge mode. That's a cakewalk. You know exactly what to expect with that.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you brought it up, Respawn, because I just want to remind people we do have a charity stream coming up from Noble that's organised this again. That was last year's charity stream, trying to get my son Phoenix through a raid.
I mean, after you just completely disregarded his raid attempt, I'm not sure he did invite you anymore. I think you've just been uninvited.
The thing is, I've tried to set him up with Elmer Fudd Games, who does the raid races.
I know who that is. I play D&D with him sometimes.
Oh, good. Yeah. So he's been organising the raid races, and I know that the Guardian Down and the Guardian Hub and a couple of other kind of teams joined in the last one. I think they had about 8 teams going. I can't remember, or maybe it was 4 teams. And they were doing it. Elmer Fudd was doing a shoutcast, like screening all the different raid races. And I've put him in touch with Noble to see if we can get another raid race, but for kind of charity, going in November to help raise money for Noble's charity that he wanted to do this year. So that's cool. So that's coming up
for the Warlock.
There will be more detail. There'll be more details coming up. As soon as we know the details, we'll let you know the details, and you can kind of participate and help support.
Or laugh at us.
You should all totally.
Oh yeah, or laugh.
The charity stream as both participants and viewers, because I mean it's fun to watch, it's fun to participate, and it's for a good cause. I think it's for vets with pets. No wait, that's something else.
It was Andy's Man's Club last year for mental health in the UK. I don't know if it's the same one this year or not, but
no, I think it's Help for Heroes, which is again like
Help for Heroes. So I wasn't too far off then.
Yeah,
it's not pets. Yeah,
military things. Yeah.
Do these heroes wear capes?
They should.
No, no, you don't. Capes get in the way. Absolutely not.
I guess that's still okay then.
Yeah.
So we do have some new PvP updates coming in Season 22 and 23. The PvP Strike team would like to let us know these things. So, as teased previously, they've been working on a new Iron Banner mode that will go live in Season 23. Tribute is Supremacy Base mode, where players will be able to deposit crests at a tribute station to earn points for their team. Banking many crests at once can trigger a hunt phase, which activates a special tribute station and increases the value of crests all deposited for 1 minute of a glorious chaotic gameplay.
What is this?
Gambit in Iron Banner.
It's called Tribute. Yeah, Tribute.
They can call it what they want. It's Gambit in Iron Banner. You can't fool me.
So, yes.
Oh, so this is an Iron Banner thing. But wasn't that this week you just had Iron Banner?
Yeah, but this is not that.
No, this is the new... This is what they teased, wasn't it?
Yeah, Fortress was this week, where the drop pods come. You capture 3 zones, and then you capture 1 zone with the drop pods, and everyone gets blown up by the turrets because they forget they're there.
And the next Iron Banner is on the 10th. The next Iron Banner is on the 10th of the 10th, which is my birthday. Just pointing that out to people if they want to say happy birthday to me.
He said that every damn time. He really wants you guys to show up for his birthday.
Look, I don't normally celebrate it, but it's a big one this year. I'm hitting 30 again. So
you're so young. You're like a baby. I always think you're older than me because you have 19,000 kids, but you're actually much, much, much younger. Golly.
I'm just going to leave that there.
It's important to listen to the entire sentence, everyone. Yes. Just a tip for life.
So Iron Banner's coming back, and in Season 23 we get Tribute, which is, as Peroty said, Gambit in Iron Banner. So that's good. Additionally, they're bringing back another Destiny 2 map from the Dream City, Citadel, which I do remember playing Iron Banner on.
Bring back maps and make new ones. Jesus.
No, This is
I'm
part
not
of their
even playing
ongoing.
PvP, and it's so boring to even hear about it.
You
Look,
don't get to have opinions with PvP. Listen,
No.
you told me when I didn't play things I couldn't have opinions, so I'm going to say the same to you. If you don't play it, you don't get an opinion on it.
You
Well, you
guys
get an
are
opinion
okay
on
with
it, just
them bringing
nobody
back
cares about
maps
your
you've
opinion.
already seen, though?
Hey, bring them back first and then give us new ones. I'm happy for Signs of Life. Is it perfect? No. Is it a move in the right direction? Yeah.
Yes.
Bring me back all the things you took away first, then bring me back the new things. Because bringing me back, I'd much rather have them give me something now than say we're going to build you a new map. You'll have it in a year.
Ugh.
Give me some, give me some appetizers to tide me over until the main course arrives. That's all I want.
It's
Yeah.
not a reprise map. It's just the same map the way it was.
No,
before.
it's not, because as part of their ongoing spawn quality refreshes that they were doing, they've kind of altered Citadel, which they've kind of said, and they've
Sure,
got
it
a
is.
number of maps that have had their spawn locations tuned in Season 23. These include Altar of Flame, Cauldron, Anomaly, and Dead Cliffs. Lastly, they're also adding strand-related Crucible medals in Season 23.
Brand-related Crucible medals?
Yeah, so you know the ones that you get for like seventh column and things like that. Ones that
Yeah.
don't really matter, but that will kind of pop out if you use like Arc and Solo. You've probably done that within the first couple of weeks of playing Crucible back like 6 years ago. So they're now just adding strand-related ones that will pop up for the first couple of weeks.
There used to be elemental-related medals in PvP.
No, there is.
Not medals like you're getting in strikes.
I get you. Yeah, I'm following.
Yeah, and by used to, they're still there. You've just done them once, so you're not
Oh.
doing them again. You did them once, like he was saying, like when PvP launched.
So
you
it's
did
not
these in
like a
the first
repeatable
weeks.
medal like seventh column. You just get it the once and then you're done. And actually, no.
No.
Sorry. You only get the medal once. It pops up on your screen repeatedly, but you only get the medal once. My bad. Sorry. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
shutting up now.
Okay. Oh dear. So, with that, they've got some sandbox tuning. So, coming later in Season 22, they're going to be adjusting the Aeneas wards. Because
Adjusting. Yeah, that's the word.
these will now require a full class ability energy to reflect incoming damage. And reflecting damage will deplete your class ability energy. So, they're going in the bin.
So our good friend Micah sent me less than 6 paragraphs. Paragraphs in a text message complaining about this.
Oh, go on. I need to hear this. Go on.
Oh my god.
Please give us a dramatic reading, because that was my. I mean, him and a trillion other people, but that was my immediate thought. Was we're gonna have a Micah fused respawn
He had a
rant.
meltdown, bro. He had a meltdown. Hold on, let me find it.
Yeah, I require a dramatic reading of this.
Okay. All right. Oh god, hold on. So it kind of. There's a lot. Okay, hold on. Let me make this PG. Be mad that they continue in this direction to remove the fun from the game. Both my favorite exotics, hunter strip mines, etc., to give them the top 1% that they want. Better aerial accuracy with slugs and snipers, which already have insane aim assist, that will now be paired with the new high ground perk, which allows them to one-shot, body shot people while in the air. Not while in the air, but while on higher ground. So he's mistaken about that. I already know that it's getting to the point where I need to move on from Destiny and all their choices that are just affirming that. I need a new fix that isn't tailored to this idiotic crowd of competitive PvP enthusiasts, right? And this is after he sent me a bunch of videos and this and that and the other about him uninstalling Destiny. And yeah, so this is after all that nonsense. And this is the exact reason why I've been saying let everybody have their broken stuff. Because once they hit yours, they're gonna hit mine. So that's all he cares about, right? Is once they hit yours, they're coming after mine next, right? And I love mine more than I hate yours. So let's both have fun and misery at times. Target, then both of us are bored AF the meta gunplay BS. I think he had a stroke right here. from anger. Yeah. So, and I'm a huge SMG guy as well, and they're throwing another SMG nerf out. Just delete every gun from the game, except hand cannons and shotguns and snipers. Just get it over with. I'm moving on. Rather than both of us being tired of the meta, the only potential saving grace for me might be the glaive rework that they're talking about rolling out, but more than likely, I'm kind of over it. And then after, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs right there, right? And then I was like, wow, passionate much? And then he goes, shoot, but he used other words. When you've wasted as much time as we both have on this game, yeah, I imagine so. Hell, you even do a podcast on it. And I said, yeah, but that's not my choice.
Well, I mean, it is your choice. No one is holding you here against your will.
You don't know what Night Demon does off camera, off mic.
That's fair.
Yeah.
He does
And
seem
then he
like,
sent me
like
news
he could run a
about
crime syndicate.
and then he sent me news about another beta for Last Descendant coming out, which I'm excited for. And then he starts talking about that, how it's better than Destiny. And then he sends me another video talking about, well, if you ever wanted to solo any content, now's the time to do it, because about all the weapon stuff happening right now. So he's not a fan. He's already talking about uninstalling the game.
So has he uninstalled, or has he come back to craft the weapons? Because that sounds like he's a bit conflicted there.
Oh, he's absolutely conflicted. There's no, yeah, he's very conflicted. He said he did come back in, and he tried to craft it, but because of all the shenanigans that are going on, he can't do anything because he's already dead by the time he respawns. You know. Yeah.
Oh, well. So Bungie's goal for reducing the Entaeus wards is to reduce the uptime of the exotics efforts to make it more difficult to stack with Juggernaut Shield, basically. So I can see why they're doing it. I don't use it, so I'm not affected. So, haha, Micah. Young Hakara Spines.
Why are you laughing at him? You and him are both PvP nerds.
Yes, but I don't use them, so it don't really... Look,
Yeah. Yeah.
I pick up a gun, I shoot the gun. If the gun still works, then fine. If the gun doesn't work, I move on to a different gun. I don't crutch on the exotic.
Ooh.
Night Demon is not in a relationship with any of his weapons or armor. They're just all tools to be used in the toolbox.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're cattle, not pets.
He doesn't crutch. Oh my! He's saying that you crutch on it, bro. You gonna put up with that?
Look,
you gonna put up with that? 1v1? 1v1 you? Okay, yeah. Okay, 1v1.
Yeah, whatever. Young Hakara Spine. I can't even say that word. But yeah.
Ahamkara.
Ahamkara?
Right.
Young
Without the rolling of the tongue.
I keep saying Ahamkara. I can't say it.
Ahamkara.
Ahamkara. Young
I continue
Ahamkara.
I continue to be fascinated. What accent are you doing?
I think he's trying to do a Spanish, I guess. I have no idea.
There was no accent. That's just me trying to read it.
Yeah, but you keep rolling the R's every time you do it. What's that about?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It seems to be this thing that I've picked up when I do This Week in Destiny that I like Crota.
It does, and it's fascinating to me.
I picked out the Crota earlier. I didn't know why you were doing that. But...
I just sometimes I do it, and sometimes I just don't do it, and I'm like, do I need to do it now? Do I need to re-record that? And I'm like, does that now sound weird if I do it and then I don't do it the next week? I'm like,
yes, it does, but we just let it slide. But it absolutely sounds weird.
It's hilarious. I mean, like when I'm talking to you at length, I will find myself switching pronunciations into more British pronunciations of things. But the weird like Spanish R rolling, I've just been fascinated by. And like Reese once said, we're just gonna roll with it.
Yeah.
But now I'm curious now that you're tripping yourself up over it, which I find even more fascinating.
Okay, so getting to those young thingies.
Just moving on.
We are reducing its impact on grenade uptime by making it grant energy on final blows instead of damage.
Oh, that's dumb. And that's what, for PvP, PvE, or both?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't say.
Okay.
It just says we're doing this.
They're doing it. You can't take it away from us. We're just going to do it. So there you go.
So they're going to expect more into. Now you got to expect more into discipline than you were before. Right. Night Demon has a relationship with his vault.
So
it's an abusive relationship at best.
Those Hunter Exotic Gauntlets.
I hear you, Peroty.
Their perk is the Wish Dragon Teeth. Increases trip mine grenade duration and blast radius. An ability damage grants trip mine grenade energy, so they're changing that. So if that's what you read. Yeah, there you go.
Oh man.
Coming in season 23, submachine guns. We will be globally increasing the recoil on SMGs to make it more of a costly trade-off to spec into range over stability.
Ooh.
Thank you, because SMGs should not have the same range as auto rifles and be just as deadly at that same range. It's
A
silly.
hand cannon shouldn't have the same range as a scout rifle and kill you in less shots, but look where we live.
Yeah, in a world of space magic. But I'm complaining about the thing they're changing.
Uh-huh.
Sniper rifles.
Mhm.
Sorry. Sniper rifles. They'll be implementing a sniper rifle body shot nerf in Crucible. Details to come.
Probably because what's happening right now with that high ground perk. Did you see Ashton Cross's video? It's insane.
No, but
It's insane, dude.
do we need to link it in the show notes for people to understand what you're talking about?
Yeah, I'll link it.
Okay.
Probably.
So just give us the TLDR on that.
Basically, as long as you're higher than your enemy,
Yeah.
and you're standing in a Warlock Rift, or just if you're standing in a Warlock Rift, right? Because if you're Radiant, it doesn't do enough damage. But if you're standing in a Warlock Rift, you one shot body shot with just a high impact frame with high ground.
So what I'm seeing here is that AC, whatever you guys call it, the AC31 Warlock build that you can do. You can fly and then you can just body shot
AC
people.
130?
That's the one.
No, because it doesn't work if you're in the air. You have to be on the ground higher than your opponent.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm. So no, they were
find
specking
a little
into
hill
a
to stand
different
on.
exotic.
Stand on a box. Just stand on a box. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if you're just taller than the Guardian you're shooting? Does that work too?
Possibly.
Do we have heights in the game? When you're creating a character, did you get to pick your height?
Yeah, I did, didn't you?
I don't remember. It's been a long time since I created a character.
But something that will cheer you up, Shorty, is sniper rifles are getting a damage buff in PvE. So this will be offset by that.
Mm-hmm.
Still not going to use them. Still don't care. But good for people who understand how snipers work and use them.
Fusion rifles,
used to be meta,
they will be decreasing the kickstart damage bonus, and damage will also fall off harder at longer ranges. And they're being
that's a different one.
Yeah,
sorry.
They're increasing the airborne accuracy of sniper rifles and slug shotguns to be equivalent to the pre-airborne effectiveness Icarus at their base values. So they're tampering with that again. Good for you.
Oh, goody.
Peregrine Greaves. See, I did some more R's then.
Mm-hmm.
These now only grant bonus shoulder charge damage after being airborne for a short time. The goal of this change is to ensure that Peregrine Greaves users are visually airborne to other players in order for them to benefit from the exotic effects. Yes. In PvE, these will now provide significantly more bonus damage and refund your melee charge when used against champions, tormentors, and mini-bosses.
Oh.
Here's one for you, Peroty.
Hold on.
Oh,
just a second.
holding.
To build on what we were talking about, the one-shot body shot with the sniper.
Yes.
If you pair that with this season's hand cannon that has harmony, you one-shot body shot with a sniper and you two-shot body shot with the hand cannon. So yeah.
The kept confidence strand one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, not all of us are Aston Cross, so it don't really matter.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying what you're capable of because of the.
Well, no, I'm not saying that I'm not saying I'm not capable of it, but I wouldn't be able to make a montage video of that. I'd be able to do one and then have to cut the video to maybe 6 hours later. I did it again, so you know.
I'm
just do the same
montage
montage from different people's perspective.
Yeah,
there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Syntheseps. They're removing the extra lunge range. To compensate, they're adding improved weapon handling and reload speed when you're surrounded. We're also walking back some of the nerf to glaive melee damage as well. Plus, more exotic armor updates coming in Season 23. Peroty, how do you feel about your Syntheseps being touched?
So you're saying I can't reach out and smack people and crutch on it in PvP anymore? That makes me a little bit sad.
But if you're surrounded, don't worry, your weapons will reload faster.
See, I didn't know that, and I do know that now both of Micah's crutches have been nerfed. So that's why he's so upset, because he's all about, that up close and personal style. So all of his stuff that lets you be up close and personal is getting nerfed.
I have a very good muscle memory for when I'm close enough to punch you with the Syntheseps, versus not. And now you're taking that away from me, and now I'm just sad.
Oh yeah, you got to retrain your muscles.
Back to pulse rifles and hanging back it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Just put on your war pig and just put on an ultra rifle and go to town.
Mm-hmm.
No, he said he wants a scout rifle. Aren't you paying attention to your
I
phone?
said, well, neither of you are, because I said pulse rifle.
I
so
know you did, but I'm just saying.
No marks for either of you.
I know what
0
you
points
said.
on the next tax.
I know what you said,
Look,
but I was just
look, I
advising
was
you
just
to go
testing
back
him,
to the war
Peroty.
pig. Go back to
I
the
knew
war
you
pig.
said it. I was just testing him to see if he was paying attention.
Look, we don't need to see if I pay attention or he pays attention. It's only you that needs to pay attention because you're the one that only half listens.
Oh, whoa, sir! I need you to back it up. That is offensive.
What did I say about my age a couple of minutes back? Exactly. Right. Checkmate enters the Crucible Labs playlist. After 4 weeks of crushing each other with very powerful relics, it's time for a change. And Checkmate, the new modifier for Crucible game modes, will enter the Labs playlist and will be available for 6 weeks, starting on Tuesday, September 19th. So one thing to consider with Checkmate that it's not your average game mode, but it's a modifier to the game modes. So
Call of Duty!
That's why during this 6 weeks of Labs, you'll have the chance to play Checkmate variations. Each variation will run for 2 weeks, starting with Checkmate Control, then Checkmate Survival, and then closing out with Checkmate Rumble. Checkmate shakes up some aspects, but the rules of the game modes remain. So, Checkmate Control. Capture the zones and shoot the players. There you go. That's all you need to do.
Call of Duty!
But the more I think about this,
Yes.
why are they even throwing control into there? I've seen you people play Iron Banner. No one's capturing any zones. So you can throw control in there, but nobody's controlling anything.
So, do you need to get acquainted with Checkmate? Because I feel that you do, Respawn.
No, it's Call of Duty.
This modifier.
So do I have to insult my teammate's mother while I'm playing it, or is that optional?
Well, you don't. No,
you can't even do that anymore because Xbox AI is banning people for doing that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, a use for AI. There's one.
So with this modifier, players have a small bump in health, which adjusts the time to kill. This is largely to give players a little more time when dueling to make extra decisions or two. So that's good for me because I am in awe about which gun I'm going to pull out to shoot somebody. So I feel that this is my game mode. Checkmate has been tuned for this more strategic gameplay whenever necessary. Certain weapons have been adjusted to maintain their iconic Destiny 2 action game feel. To further increase the importance of your decision-making, they've reduced the passive regeneration times for grenades, melee, and class abilities by 50%, and reduced the passive regen for your super by 40%. The biggest change in Checkmate, however, is that you do not spawn in with special ammo. Instead, you earn it by generating points from kills, assists, deaths. Oh, you get some for deaths as well. Zone captures and gathering heavy. So you won't lose points.
Oh, it is Call of Duty. It's absolutely Call of Duty with kill streaks.
You won't lose points accumulated on death. The special ammo you earn persists through lives and rounds. Additionally, you do not drop special ammo on death. That's good. The goal with Checkmate is to provide a game mode that encourages and rewards solid decision making with gunplay skill while still being the Destiny 2 you know. So their internal playlists have been very positive. They said this about Gambit. They showed us Gambit. We were happy about Gambit, and then they just let Gambit die. Some of
us still are happy about Gambit, sir.
No, but I'm just saying that their internal playtest, they've always been positive. I don't think they've ever come out and gone, our internal playlists have been very negative, but we're just going to give it to you.
Here it is anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. This sucks for us. Let's see if it sucks for you guys.
Let's be honest, Bungie. You've never come out and said it's been very negative, but we just want to see how you guys would like to play it. And again, they're excited for us to get our hands on it. So we're excited because they're excited. We're all excited to see what this new game mode has in store for us, basically.
I'm excited. What if I'm not excited? You know what? As a matter of fact, I don't think I am excited.
Respawn's not going to touch it.
And don't worry, if you're a Relic fan, you have another chance to play with like your Aegis, your Scythe, and your Synaptic Spear during the last 4 weeks of the Season of the Witch.
How are we 4 weeks into this season already? I don't understand.
There's no way we're 4 weeks in, are we?
I don't understand how time works.
No, I don't.
No, that's not real. You're messing with me now.
It is a 14-week season. Oh, it's a long one. This one, then. There we go.
I don't know how time works anymore.
No.
Well, it is relative. One guy said back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a win-win situation for you if you go and play trials, especially now with like the weapon crafting. And they'd like to remind you that non-adept versions of weapons will be dropping for wins. So these are Igneous Hammer, Astral Horizon, the Cataphracт GL3, the Messenger, the Unexpected Resurgence, and the Immortal.
The Immortal. Ooh.
And I know it's probably a bit too late to tell people this, but the Igneous Hammer will be the adept one that's up this week, which I'm just going to go over here and write this in my little notes. Over there you go. That one.
What?
So I keep a list of, what's up, where and when, just in case for funsies.
He makes a list, he checks it twice.
Gonna find out if your mom's naughty or nice?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. And I can't bring myself to go through this, so somebody else is going to have to. I'm not happy about having to pay $100 just to enter their video thing for this week.
We've already discussed it. It's done.
Well,
just put what you put in last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't have to. Don't need to. It slaps, and here's a bunch of things for people who pre-ordered the final shape using it. Movies of the week, games of the week, plays of the week, delete everything of the week.
Pockets, there you go.
Lots of things of the week. Yeah, there's lots of things that people did and pretty pictures that I haven't pre-ordered either. So
and they were
don't
done
know what to tell you.
I
would really like Bungie to allow me to get through a lost sector and shoot all 5 little discs the first time around and have it count. and so I don't have to do it 2 or 3 times. So I could, work on the stupid Solar Void and Arc attunement things for the season. Let's make the season work first, and then I'll consider buying the next season. This is I'm really like I've pre-ordered very diligently. And this is the first time where I'm kind of like, could we get some fixes first, maybe, before I give you more money?
Yeah, that gun is definitely not good enough to make me pre-order.
I mean, you're also not throwing me a Quicksilver Storm either, so there's also that. But I'm a little bit like, can we fix our game first here, guys, before we take more of my money? Maybe.
Speaking of which, have we heard any feedback from the Warlocks to see if you can pop your match grenade build and keep feeding that gun your grenades, or is it just the one time with a timer in between?
Warlocks say yes.
Well, there you go.
Cool.
You know what people also say? That there's a player support report.
Or is it a Peroty player support report? Is it the PPP?
It very well could be. It could be a PPP, and I won't even loan it to you. I'll just give it to you for free. Just for showing up.
I don't know what the last P is, but I always put that down as my abbreviation for you.
I mean, just the more P's, the better. You can never have too many P's. Frozen, World, doesn't matter. So what we do have is a 48-hour challenge emblem update. Since the contest mode ended, we're investigating reports that some people have not completed their All for One, or did not get credit for completing their All for One triumph for defeating Crota. Thus, they don't get the triumph or the emblem. Again, looking into it, they're adding a few server flags in the next update 7.204, which will help us check off defeating Crota and unlocking the triumph for that to be unlocked. They're also doing some more server work to verify people who actually are missing it versus not. So we're working on it. Basically, they think it may take a couple more weeks, but they're going to be able to figure out who completed this and then give you credit retroactively for it. So, long story short, they're doing some server work and they're going to figure this out and make it right and give you the thing that you did.
Hold up, guys! Did y'all hear this? For the
who
gun,
are you talking to?
You guys, you can pre-order the new DLC and get your gun and then cancel it and you can keep the gun.
Why bother? I could just not spend $100 and then not have them take my gun away at some point.
Yeah, but you're not spending the $100.
Once they figure it out.
Would they do that? How long has this been happening? Has this been happening since 4 weeks? 4 weeks this has been happening? I don't think there's something they're going to fix. If you're interested in, that.
And no, we couldn't hear the voices in your head talking to you to answer your question.
Oh, yeah, I guess it's kind of a thing, huh?
But what we can hear is that there are some known issues. The seasonal challenge, round and round we go, is not counting orbs generated in Gambit because Bungie doesn't care about Gambit anymore. The Dead Man's Tale intrinsic updates have duplicate and incorrect directions on how to obtain them, so it's a secret. It's more exciting now.
Incorrect directions. I understand it just be missing, but if it to be just wrong.
Duplicate and incorrect. Some weapons from Crota's End don't always have firing audio, so they're very quiet. Some players are unable to finish the last Will and Testament mission.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know why they can't finish it, but they just need to persist at the end and finish it, but they can't do it. And the description for the Legend version of the Savathûn Spire activity incorrectly displays it as matchmaking is available, but it does not. Any legendary activity, Legend version, does not have matchmaking. So, because the Spire tells you it does, it's lying to you. It's also much harder than the regular version.
Really?
Lots of beefy, angry enemies. It's a challenge. It's good times.
This sounds like one.
And then there's one more video of the weapon that none of us have and pre-ordered, and thus we're not going to win Movie of the Week.
Right.
There is a nice man holding a door and some lovely artwork.
Was and still is such a good gun. That is a pre-order gun right there. Right? And, I mean, but this, how is Bungie going to come up with something so beautiful and elegant while at the same time maintaining its homicidal abilities and then follow it up with this?
Well, I mean, to be fair, they were releasing Strand too, which was they wanted to get all the money and all the hype, which
but even without Strand, this gun didn't come with Strand, if you remember, right? It was just a kinetic gun, right? So even before Strand, this thing was a monster, and now with Strand, it's monster squared, right? If you got the right build. But I mean, the gun was amazing out the box, even without Strand, and this fusion rifle just doesn't even come close, man. I don't know. Man.
Seems like maybe it is if they had to turn it off.
Because it was bugged.
Don't have it, so haven't used it.
Yeah, no, they turned it off because it was bugged. You could just, if you fed a grenade into it, and then you immediately swapped your grenade, you can continuously feed grenades into it to get that extra bullet damage, but it wouldn't eat your grenade energy. So that's why they turned it off. It wasn't because the gun is inherently good. They just, it was broken. It was broken not in the sense that it was OP, but broken in the sense that, it was not functioning as intended.
Mm-hmm. Did not work correctly.
Yeah. So, there you go. Bob Drunkle.
Hasta luego.
Hasta la vista?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Mm-hmm. And that's our TWAB for the week. We're never calling it a TWID.
No.
Can't make us.
No, but can I tell you about the TWID though before we move on to other stuff?
The TWID doesn't exist.
You can. I don't know what you're talking about, but you can tell us about this made up word.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's This Week in Destiny, isn't it?
No.
It is. I tell you about This Week in Destiny all the time.
Well, I mean, it's Next Week in Destiny, so it's NWID, if anything. Yeah.
Well, here it is then.
NWID. It's funny because you're silly.
Hello and welcome to the 5th week of Season 22, Season of the Witch, starting on September 19th, 2023. So for week 5, let's jump right in with our legacy rotation, starting with the Forsaken expansion.
Ready if you are. Let's see what's out there.
The Dreaming City this week is at a medium curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in the Devilian Miss, and has the Oracle Engine mission for the next week. The Blind World features Hive enemies and the Plague Kregar. The Ascendant challenge this week will be the Chimera Garrison, which can be located over in the Chamber of Starlight Lost sector on the Dreaming City. Next up, the Shadowkeep expansion. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is a mysterious disturbance. The Trove Guardian is located in the Anchor of Light, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Fallen Council in Archer's Line. And the Nightmare hunts this week will be Zydron, Servitude, Tanix, Isolation, and Skolas, Pride. For our Beyond Light expansion, on Europa this week, Phylax the Warrior will be the Empire Hunt, Assyrian's Abyss will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Agility. For the 30th Anniversary expansion, Dares of Eternity Legendary rounds are Taken, Cabal, and for the final round, Zydron. The loot rotation will be on week 2's rotation, with the Scatterhorn armor set, and the Perfectus armor set being available. The weapons available this week will be the Kinetic Adaptive Frame Auto Rifle Skatelock, the Kinetic Aggressive Frame Submachine Gun Extraordinary Rendition, the Void Aggressive Burst Sidearm Brass Attacks, the Void Precision Frame Linear Fusion Rifle Threaded Needle, the Solar High Impact Frame Rocket Launcher Code Dwello, the Void Lightweight Frame Bow Imperial Needle, the Solar Adaptive Frame Sniper Rifle Far Future, the Arc Adaptive Frame Sword Honor's Edge, the Solar Rapid Fire Frame Sniper Rifle Distant Terminus, the Arc Adaptive Frame Grenade Launcher Interference 6, the Kinetic Adaptive Frame Sniper Rifle Shepherd's Watch, and the Solar Adaptive Frame Hand Cannon Annual Skate. For the Witch Queen expansion, the Witch Queen Weekly Story Mission is the Last Chance, where the modifier is Martyr, as well as Barrier and Unstoppable Champions. Also this week you will have Altar of Reflections Choice, and Altar of Reflections Pact. The Wellspring activity has been updated to include a featured Throne World weapon, Veritas armor, and a weapon pattern as its rewards. For the Lightfall expansion, the weekly mission is Desperate Measures, with Barrier and Unstoppable Champions, Solar Threat, Empath, Overcharged Weapons, Arc and Strand Surges, Overcharged Glaives, and Galvanized on Hero difficulty only. The Partition mission will be Ordnance, Contest Mode enabled with Overload and Unstoppable Champions, Solar Threat, Arc and Strand Shields, Air Superiority modifier with Solar and Strand Surges. And the Vexing Coast in this week will be Umshire Park. In addition, the weekly Lightfall reset also refreshes the Pinnacle drop for the Node Override Avalon Exotic mission on the EDZ. For the Season of the Deep, all 3 fishing ponds are now exotic all week. Raids and Dungeons. The Crota's End raid challenge this week is the first encounter, Enter the Abyss, called Conservation of Energy. Guardians must alternate between depositing the Chalice of Light in a podium and enlightening a lamp. Plus, if you complete the weekly challenge on Master, you'll get an Adept weapon. The Adept weapon you get is a random drop, but works on a knockout system. You will get a new one with every challenge you complete every week until you've unlocked them all. The Kingsfall raid challenge this week is the third encounter, Golgoroth, called Gaze Amaze. The gaze holder must stand in the pool of unclaimed light when swapping the gaze. The Vault of Glass challenge this week is the fourth encounter, Gatekeeper, called Strangers in Time. Players must defeat the Praetorians and Wyverns at the same time. The Deepstone Crypt challenge this week is the first encounter, Crypt Security, called Red Rover. This is where all Guardians must be an operator and shoot the 2 panels on the lower levels. The Garden of Salvation challenge this week is the first encounter, Embrace, called To the Top. This is where you must not kill the Cyclops that spawns near the Consecrated Mine. And the Last Wish challenge this week is the third encounter, Morgoth, called Forever Fight. Players must not kill the small ogres during the encounter. Your pinnacle raid will be the Vow the Disciple over on the Throne World, which means all challenges will be available for each encounter. These are the first encounter, Acquisition, called Swift Destruction, where Guardians must kill all champions within a few seconds of each other on all rounds. The second encounter, the Caretaker, called Base Information, where runners cannot pick up more than 1 stack of knowledge on each run. The third encounter, the Upender, called Defenses Down. This is where each player cannot kill more than 1 Taken Knight in total. And the fourth encounter, Rolk, called Looping Catalyst. This is where Guardians must not lose the Leeching Force buff before the damage phase. Also, with the Vow the Disciple being the featured raid, this does mean that you can farm the final boss for a chance at the exotic Pulse Rifle Collective Obligation. The Pinnacle Dungeon will be the Prophecy over in the Legends tab. And our exotic mission rotator will be Vox Obscura, with the Dead Messenger exotic grenade launcher being the main reward. Craftable weapons available from this mission include the Solar Wave Frame Grenade Launcher Explosive Personality, the Stasis Rapid Fire Frame Machine Gun Recurrent Impact, the Void Precision Frame Bow Under Your Skin, the Arc Rapid Fire Frame Auto Rifle Sweet Sorrow, the Stasis Adaptive Frame Sniper Thoughtless, and the Kinetic Rapid Fire Frame Pulse Rifle Peace of Mind, with the Tusk Allegiance armor set. Next up, challenges. Acolyte's Ascent 5. Complete Week 5 of the Bladed Path quest for Challenge XP. Master Magus. Complete 20 combat encounters in the Altar of Summoning. More difficult encounters grant bonus progress for Challenge XP+. Runic Rifle. Defeat 200 targets with scout rifles or snipers. Earn bonus progress by defeating Guardians or by defeating combatants in Season of the Witch activities for Challenge XP+. Mist and Mysteries. Solve the Cunning test in the Imbaro engine and identify 15 minor arcania for Challenge XP+. Cursed by Success. Acquire the Hand Cannon Malediction for Challenge XP++ and Bright Dust. Fleeting Glory. Complete Crucible matches in the competitive playlist. Earn bonus progress for wins for Challenge XP++ and Bright Dust. Special Forces. Defeat 150 combatants with weapons that use special ammunition for Challenge XP++, and Bright Dust. And higher caliber. Defeat Guardians in Crucible or Gambit with submachine guns, bows, scout rifles, sniper rifles, or machine guns. Earn bonus progress for snipers or machine gun final blows. Or Challenge XP++ and Bright Dust. Hello! As a reminder, your daily lost sector will show you a flag outside, which will give you details of threats, shields, champions, and exotic armor you will find inside. But if you're new to the game or using an alternate character and can't find the flag outside, you will have to run through the lost sector normally to have it show up on your map as a legend/master, which you can either do solo or with a fire team, but you'll only be able to earn a chance at the exotic drop when completing solo. Tuesday, September 19th will be the Concealed Void on Europa for exotic chests, Solar Threat, Archon Strand Surges, Void and Solar Shields, Arachno Modifier, Overcharged Trace Rifles, with Barrier and Overload champions. Wednesday, September 20th will be Bunker E15 on Europa for exotic helmets, Void Threat, Solar and Strand Surges, Void Shields, Shocker Modifier, Overcharged Grenade Launchers, with Barrier and Overload champions. Thursday, September 21st will be Bay of Drowned Wishes on the Dreaming City for exotic boots, Arc Threat, Solar and Strand Surges, Void Shields, Stalker Shield Modifier, Overcharged Snipers, with Unstoppable and Overload champions. Friday, September 22nd will be Vel's Labyrinth on the Cosmodrome for exotic gauntlets, Arc Threat, Solar and Strand Surges, Arc and Solar Shields, Fire Pit Modifier, Overcharged Shotguns, with Barrier and Unstoppable champions. Saturday, September 23rd will be Exodus Garden 2A on the Cosmodrome for exotic chests, Void Threat, Solar and Strand Surges, Void Shields, Scorched Earth Modifier, Overcharged Linear Fusion Rifles, with Barrier and Overload champions. Sunday, September 24th will be Sepulture on the Throne World for exotic helmets, Solar Threat, Arc and Strand Surges, Solar and Arc Shields, Fire Pit Modifier, Overcharged Fusion Rifles, with Barrier and Unstoppable champions. And finally, back round to Monday, September 25th will be Extraction on the Throne World for exotic boots, Arc Threat, Arc and Strand Surges, Arc and Void Shields, Raider Shield Modifier, Overcharged Glaives, with Overload and Unstoppable champions.
Lead the way.
Our fifth featured Nightfall of the season will see us face off against Septis Prime in the Devil's Lair Nightfall over on the Cosmodrome, where you have a chance to get a Pinnacle Engram if you complete the Nightfall with a score of 200k or more. This Nightfall is free to play. You'll be able to earn high-end gear for your characters, including the Nightfall featured weapon, exotic gear, enhancement cores, enhancement prisms, ascendant shards, and adept Nightfall ciphers. The higher the Nightfall difficulty, the more common the drop will be, with the featured weapon and exotic gear being uncommon at hero difficulty to being common with ascendant shards in Grandmasters. Legend and low Nightfalls will have 4 Barrier and 8 Overload champions, with 5 Solar, 8 Void, and 17 Arc Shields. Masters will have 4 Barrier and 15 Overload, with 5 Solar, 8 Void, and 8 Arc Shields. Your Nightfall modifiers are Hero Difficulty, Maximum Effective Level 1765, Matchmaking is available, Enemies have extra shields, Champions Foe, you will face Barrier and Overload champions. You can either use intrinsic exotics, use a subclass debuff, or unlock anti-champion mods from the seasonal artifact. Arc Threat, 25% increase to incoming arc damage. Arachno, when defeated, Fallen Vandals spawn web mines at their feet. Overcharged weapons. Weapons overcharged from the seasonal artifact are active in this activity. Kinetic weapons do increased damage when your subclass element matches an active surge. Arc Surge, 25% bonus to outgoing arc damage. Strand Surge, 25% bonus to outgoing strand damage. Overcharged Linear Fusion Rifles, 25% bonus damage with Linear Fusion Rifles. Galvanized, combatants have more health and are more difficult to stun. Legend difficulty, maximum effective level 1815, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized. No matchmaking. Equipment locked, you will be unable to change your equipment once the mission starts. Master difficulty, maximum effective level 1820, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized. Champions mob, this difficulty adds more champion enemies. Togetherness, base health regen is reduced, if near another player health regen is increased. Grandmaster difficulty, maximum effective level 1815, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized. Join in progress disabled. Extinguish, if your fire team falls in a restricted zone, your team is returned to orbit. Limited revives, gain additional revives by defeating champions up to a maximum of 20. Contest mode, which caps your power level to make enemies more of a challenge. And Chafe, radar is disabled. To combat champions this season, you will have access to subclass counters as well as a choice of intrinsic anti-champion artifact mods, which are Anti-Barrier Auto Rifle, Anti-Barrier Bow, Overload hand cannon, and Overload machine guns. You also have exotic weapons and armor that can help with intrinsic mods as well. For anti-barrier, the kinetic bow Wishender, the kinetic linear fusion rifle Arbalest, the kinetic pulse rifle Revision 0, the solar energy hand cannon Ariana's Vow, the solar heavy sword the Lament, and the Titan gauntlet Second Chance, which gain a second charge of a shield throw melee, which becomes shield piercing and stuns barrier champions. And for overload, the void energy bow Le Monarch, the arc energy linear trace rifle Divinity, the arc heavy machine gun Thunderlord, and the warlock exotic boots the Secant Filaments, which when you drop an empowering rift, any weapon that is fired from inside the well can cause an overload champion to be stunned. The Nightfall featured weapon to obtain this week will be the heavy machine gun the Swarm. The Swarm is a high impact frame heavy machine gun with a base impact of 70, with a range of 69 and stability of 33. It can roll with Vorpal, tap the trigger and Zen Moment, with dynamic sway reduction, killing wind and one for all. It has the origin trait of stunning recovery, where if you stun a champion you partially refill the magazine, trigger health regen and improve your recovery for a short duration. And Vanguard Vindication, where final blows with the weapon grant a small amount of health. Lord Shaxx brings Mayhem to the Crucible for the 5th week of the season. Mayhem is where 2 teams of 6 players go head to head in a clash type mode. Abilities and supers charged at an extremely faster rate than usual. Respawns are instant, and power ammo spawns are also much faster than usual. With the time limit of 10 minutes, the first team to get 125 eliminations is the winner. And Rift will also be available in the Relentless Crucible playlist. Rift is a 6v6 game mode that focuses heavily on objective-based gameplay and not just killing the enemy team. Instead of accruing points based on defeating enemies, players can score points by picking up the spark and dunking into their opponent's rift, which is near the enemy spawn. A team can either win by scoring 5 points before the opposing team can, by scoring 3 points without the enemy team getting a look in, or having more points when the time runs out. The spark spawns in the centre of the map and starts to charge after 6 seconds of the round starting, and becomes visible for all players on the map. After another 12 to 13 seconds, the spark is available for players to pick up, giving both teams approximately 20 seconds to fight over the spark before either side can pick it up. For 5 seconds after a player picks up the spark, they become marked on both teams' maps. After that, they're only marked on their own team's map unless they are in view of the enemy team. The carrier can only hold onto the spark for 1 minute and 15 seconds. After that, the spark detonates, killing the carrier and those around them before resetting. Should the carrier die in any way that isn't from the spark detonating, the spark drops at that location. If a player picks up the spark whilst in their super, they are immediately pulled out of their super. Furthermore, they will not gain any more super energy whilst holding the spark, and will be unable to use their super even if it is fully charged. If a player dies, they must wait 10 seconds before respawning, but their teammates can revive them during this time. This forces players to focus on teamwork to help push up on their enemies, but can also leave some players out of the game for an extended duration if their team can't or won't revive them. Plus, available in the Crucible Labs playlist this week will be the new game mode Checkmate Control. Checkmate Control is a modified version of Control, where rich primary weapon fights can happen more often, and gun skill can be augmented by communication and strong positioning. You will still have to capture the control points, but primary weapon damage has been tuned to feel a little different from the rest of the game, without being too jarring. This should reduce the gap between the faster killing weapons and the average time to kill, and in general pushing the longer range primaries into the slower killing profiles. Players' health has been increased, all ability cooldowns are lengthened, and special ammunitions must be earned via gameplay and is not dropped on death. This all results in slightly longer combat encounters that reward skill and consistency.
Delightful!
And that cheeky Titan Saintful team will be back at the weekend with Trials of Osiris Dominion, bringing with him a whole host of rewards for players who do make it to the lighthouse and open the chest. These include the Hero's Wake exotic Ghost Shell, the Valiant Memory exotic Ship, the Survivor's Journey exotic Sparrow, a new armor set, and the new Trials shader, Bloodline Feud. Trials of Osiris Dominion is a 3v3 PvP high stakes game mode with a twist of a capture point. In Dominion, 2 teams of 3 go head to head in a battle for control of a capture point. Teams can either work together to capture the control point, or eliminate the enemy team to win the round. Only available from Friday reset until Tuesday weekly reset, Trials gives every player the chance to show off their PvP skills to obtain some of Destiny's most sought after weapons and armour. Players that compete in Trials of Osiris will have all of their games tracked to a passage card, a ticket purchased from Saint 14 in the lower hangar of the tower. Winning rounds and matches in Trials of Osiris will grant exclusive weapons, armour, pinnacle gear, masterwork materials, and even adept gear for the most skilled players who can reach the lighthouse with a flawless ticket of 7 games won and no losses. 5 round wins will bag you the match for your passage card. By competing in trials, you do have a chance to pick up 2 pinnacle engrams from playing each week, one from 50 round wins and the other from winning 7 games. These do not have to be done all in one go, but you do have to complete them before the weekly reset.
That is amazing.
And that's it for week 5 of Season of the Witch.
Guardian down.
Now, do we think they're going to keep the Nightfall weapon the same, or do you think they're going to switch it up again halfway through the week, or on launch because of reasons?
Well, funny enough, I was talking to somebody a couple of weeks back, and they commented on the video and said, what weapon do you think it is? Do you think it's going to be the Warden's Law? And I was like, well, it is the highest battleground, so it's a new one, so they're probably going to pair it with the Wardens. And then when the Swarm came out, I was like, I feel like you guys have done that a bit wrong. And then they went and swapped it. I was like, okay, no, you've made up for yourself now. So
you didn't give me the gun I want, therefore you are wrong, Bungie.
Well, no, I feel that it always seems to be, they put it with like whatever not the new Nightfall, but whatever the kind of the hotness is, we've now put these back in the, or this in the game, so it should go with this one,
If you say so.
Yeah, I do say so. And you can't tell me otherwise.
I'm not trying to.
But
I just said, if you say so.
But what I could get you to tell me is we have more feedback from Melo Mally.
Yay! Wait, who's that?
Mm.
I know who it is. I was just playing on the whole me having a bad memory thing. No, but for real, who's that? Let me get the email.
As per your contract of each week that she sends us an email, you are contractually obliged to read it out to all our listeners.
Oh my god! And it is.
And
it's
if you too would like to send us any feedback or just a really lengthy email about, it has to be about Destiny stuff. Then you too can send us an email at 2titansanahunter. 2titansanahunter.
So they can't just send us random emails about random subjects.
No, it has to have Destiny included in it. Yeah. At 2titansanahunter at hotmail.com.
No, Destiny's in the title, but nothing about it is actually pertaining to Destiny.
Okay. Look, just send it, and Respawn is contractually obliged to read all of your words.
Whoa.
He does have to kind of, edit out the fruity ones, but don't be too fruity.
Yeah. Fruity, I like that. The fruity ones. Okay.
If you just want to have Respawn read words, send us emails.
So, Melo Melly states that she was out gardening at some point in time this week after work, and her husband comes out and says, "Hey, have you seen the Titans and Hunter podcast?" Right?
I don't think they're English.
I told him, you don't know that.
In exactly that accent, I'm positive.
Oh, absolutely. And I was going for Australian. It came out as English.
You hang around me too much. That's what that is.
I guess. I told him, no, I'm still catching up on the previous podcast. And then he says, it's the Melo Mally feedback show. Needless to say, I turned it on immediately and listened to the whole thing. Oh my God, guys, you're so nice for talking about my loot video and many emails. By the way, haven't emailed in a while because we were on vacation and not because you didn't address my stuff.
I feel that's an excuse. I feel that, she felt a bit guilty.
Absolutely an excuse, right? You're back on her good side, so she doesn't want you to know that she was right? I don't want you to ever feel like you have to address my correspondence on your shows.
No, but we've addressed
But if you don't, she'll stop, right?
Basically.
So,
you can't tell us what to do.
Yeah.
Right? You're sweet for doing so, but please don't feel obligated. And Respawn, I'm sorry you had to read so much that your voice was getting froggy by the end of the long email. It did, though. It did. For the rest of the day, I was hoarse.
Well, you're a frog or a horse? I'm not sure what's happening here.
I can be both. I don't live in a world of or like you do, sir.
Okay.
I live in a world of and.
A frog horse, okay.
Mm-hmm. A force, if you might, be so inclined.
Definitely not a force.
I'm not so inclined.
What was that? You made me lose my thought. And just some updates and comments, hopefully not too long-winded. In regard to rank 11, the one challenge that's holding me back is completing the new dungeon solo. Goes to the deep. You can't just pick up any dungeon, it has to be the new one, and it's a doozy to try to complete solo.
Ew.
I can't believe she called us out of that. She's absolutely right. Maybe Respawn has already done it. Nope. I did it before, but I haven't done it this season or last season, I think. I did it the first season. That you could get to rank 11.
I feel that it's a little bit easier than some of the other dungeons to solo. but then there's always pitfalls. I think the thing is with this one is it's the bubbles. I think were killing a lot of people to start off with, weren't they?
Or people stealing other people's bubbles.
Yeah, but if you're doing it solo, I think it was just like sometimes they weren't spawning in, or they were just not. Yeah, they just weren't there, and things people were having issues with, as far as I remember. But I think they might have fixed that. I can't remember.
But I can't. I'm suffering from night demonitis.
Yep.
I can't seem to get past the second phase. Ector, the Shield of Savathun, and even if I did, there's also the final encounter, Simuma. Simuma, Lucent Necromancer. Again, very tough to do solo. I guess I shouldn't feel too bad about it, considering I've heard probably the hardest ever dungeon to do solo. I do appreciate the advice that you and your listeners gave, though, about doing Shattered Throne. I've never completed a solo dungeon, so that one would be a good one to try someday. Thanks for telling me about the Truth rocket launcher. I don't think I have it, but I will pick it up from the exotic kiosk if I have enough to ever invade in Gambit. Or if I ever gain enough nerve. Oh, wow, okay, let's try that again. Shall we? Rewind. Okay. Thanks for telling me about the Truth rocket launcher. I don't think I have it, but I will pick it up from the exotic kiosk, and if I gain enough nerve to ever invade in Gambit, I'll give Truth a try. That is how that was supposed to be read.
Okay. But now I've got to leave it all in, otherwise people won't understand what you're talking about.
No!
You can't say things like that afterwards, because then it just makes no sense.
I hate you so much.
Yeah.
You have edited songs out of words I've said, and you tell them you can't remove a sentence?
No, not these days. Editing's down to like 2 minutes.
Bare
I mean,
minimum
he's not edited songs out of things I've said. Don't just ignore that, everybody.
What you're talking about?
Never happened. Nope.
No.
So speaking of the new raid, I lied. My main character is a warlock. What?
For the new raid?
I mean, yeah, for the new raid.
Yeah.
I mean, because let's be honest, that first section, it helps to have a whole bunch of warlocks.
No. I skipped the whole paragraph. We're not at the new raid part yet.
Okay.
Well, you shouldn't skip the whole paragraph because now we're very confused.
I did. I rewinded because I skipped a paragraph. The paragraph that I skipped starts with, my main character is a warlock. Now I'm offended.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably a tie between Hunter and Titan. Oh, whoa. So last week when he said, oh, she plays Hunter, so she's still on your good side. You just dropped like a significant level of notches on the respawn-o-meter, okay? That is hurtful and offensive.
That doesn't mean anything these days.
Oh,
You're not the Hunter Vanguard anymore. He's coming back.
Yeah.
He's not here
I just saw him in games. I don't know what you guys are talking about. He's here. He's back. You've been replaced.
And Respawn, thanks for the Hunter advice regarding invisibility. I've been experimenting a lot with 6 Coyote and Trapper's Ambush to keep my invis for long bouts. It comes in extremely handy for the first part of the new raid. Yes, but you don't want to use 6 Coyote. You want to use, honestly, if you want to stay invis, you want to use the Omni Oculus and do your best to at least include one ally when you're popping the invis. Because the more allies you catch with your invis, the more melee energy you get back. And on top of that, you can use Monte Carlo to fill in any gaps you get if you happen to miss a melee or if you just need more grenades, right? So Monte Carlo paired with Omni Oculus is, invisibility all the time, right? 6 Coyote just give you 2 dodges, and even though you can go invis with a dodge, you really want to use the dodge plus your smoke grenades, because that's just so much more invisibility all the time. Not that I would know.
See, the scale means nothing.
So it comes in extremely handy on the new part of the raid. Yeah, okay. Speaking of the new raid, our kids in their well, if you've seen me play with my group, I was training not just myself, but everyone invisible with the smoke grenade. So even if you have 6 Coyote and you can keep yourself invisible, that part of the raid requires team effort. So it's better to keep everybody invisible than just yourself. Yeah. And with what I just mentioned, you get permanent invisibility, because if you catch at least 2 people, you get the whole grenade energy back. And then you get 2 charges of it, right? So absolutely rock Six Coyote. Not Six Coyote. Omnioculus with Monte Carlo, and you're set. Especially for the first part of the raid. You were saying something, Damon?
I was going to say, if you saw our raid attempt the other week, yes, he did turn us invisible, but it didn't help. We were still incompetent.
Yeah, you have to have competent teammates that realize once they're invis to stop shooting a gun.
I don't know how many times you shouted us for that.
Because Destiny gave you a reprieve. You have an entire second after going invis when you can shoot your gun and you won't break invisibility. So you're seeing yourself invis for an entire second and still continuing to fire.
Yeah. We're tight.
To be fair, I'm mostly seeing chaos and flame and arc buddies and everything else.
You see what I have to deal with, Melo Mally? You see this? You have a husband and a son-in-law to help get, or stepson? I can't remember. Sorry.
You've just read it.
Help get you through this stuff, right? I got to deal with these clowns. You see this?
Yeah.
2 Titan clowns. Speaking of new raid, our kids and their clan.
Yeah. Is that on your podcast?
2 Titan clowns, not me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's 2 clowns and a hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do prefer that cartridge after all.
Speaking of the new raid, our kids and their clan were among the minuscule 4.8% to complete the new raid.
Nice.
Quotas end on challenge mode. Sorry, there's more to that sentence. The new raid, quotas ends on challenge mode. After challenge mode on day 3, we ran the raid with them and completed it. Yo, look at you! By the way, more spoils to be had. You just need 2 people to get the secret chest in the first encounter, and you can get 15 spoils, 5 per character. That brings the weekly spoils count to 60!
We need an updated video, Melo.
Yeah, although you can't solo the new one.
Just add it in at the end. Do a bit of editing.
Yeah, the air slam thing is really good, Noble. Yeah, so absolutely. That's what I was just telling her. Oh, no, I didn't tell her that. I'm sorry. You also have to use... I'm so sorry. You also have to use the... where is it at? The Trapper's Ambush fragment. And you jump in the air, and when you slam on the ground with your melee, you have the AoE, which catches everybody too. So you can throw your grenade or the Trapper's Ambush. Not only slams on the ground, does AoE invisibility, it also damages the enemies when you do that. So Trapper's Ambush with that whole build I just told you. There you go. Peroty likes carts. I don't know what you mean by Peroty likes carts. Keep up.
Or just grab a sunshot and some arc buddies, and you can walk your way through the first encounter with very little stress.
Spoken like a true Titan.
If nothing's alive, it can't hurt you.
Thank you for mentioning the weapons of Sorrow, Thorns, Austere Triggers, such Malice, and Necrochasm being paired with Necrotic Grips. It's not just those; it's also every weapon from the new raid. All right, I don't know if you picked up on that because you didn't mention it here, but it's all those plus every weapon from the new raid that pair with the Necrotic Grips for more poison spread. Great info, and Respawn is right, as I usually am. The weapons do not tell you this when you look at the description. And thank you, Respawn, for the advice on getting better armor with the seasonal engrams. You weren't kidding. The rolls I'm getting with focusing engrams are insane. I'm going to get triple hundies. Sorry, not hundreds. I'm going to get triple hundies. And I don't have any quad hundies, but I'll try. And thank you for explaining in detail the way that the armor is split between mobility, recovery, resilience, and discipline, intellect, and strength. I still don't completely understand it, but it does explain why I can never get a spike in both recovery and resilience at the same time. It sounds like you do get it. I mean, that's basically it. There's really not much more to it than that. So I think you're following pretty good.
Yeah, it's all a slot machine at the end of the day.
Yeah, I am always wanting high recovery and high resilience, but couldn't ever get it. I'm going to go back to listen to what Respawn said about this because there was some great info there. Anyway, thanks again so much for taking the time to answer my many questions and comments. And I definitely wanted to let you know I wasn't upset at all when you didn't respond earlier. No worries on ever having to address my emails. Take care, and thanks again for all your advice and information. That's it.
Cool.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. We try.
And trying is the best we can do.
Yeah.
Some days we even succeed.
Yeah, but those are rare. Those are very rare.
Yeah.
We're not here to give you legit information. We're here to entertain. And if we happen to be right, all the better.
Well,
yeah.
Well, I'm here to entertain. I think Night Demon might actually be trying to give you legit info because he's a scrub. But,
I try to.
Yeah. And Peroty just is Peroty. He just is here for instigation and reiteration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All the
We all have
Asians.
our parts. And what did you say? Mitigation?
All the Asians.
Oh, the Asians. Yeah, there you go.
So I do have a couple of videos that I'd like to recommend. Definitely go and check out the Cheese Forever video this week on doing this every day to get rid of your legendary shards, because it will help you. So I'll just reiterating that again. It's only a minute long. Go and check that video out. Then go and check out Cheese Forever's channel to see all the goodness about these weapons that are breaking.
Just go to his channel, apparently.
Yeah, subscribe to his channel. He's amazing. If you want to kind of a broken down version of this, Lucky 10p does have a simpler method for crafting or recrafting the both weapons. I will link that. For how long that lasts, I don't know, but yes, that will be in our show notes as well. Then one particular one this week, what I want to kind of draw people's attention to, is the Cyhamatic 5, which is a pulse rifle you didn't know you needed, and apparently, according to Cool Guy, it's very strong. I got a random one to drop, and I thought,
those green ones or blue ones?
no, it looks like the Hopscotch Pilgrim from Destiny 1.
Yeah, but what is it? Is it legendary?
Yes, it's a legendary pulse rifle. It is, if I can find it in, because I was looking at it only about 2 minutes ago. I was thinking, where is that? Because it's like, oh, it's in my collections. There it is.
Is it something you can still acquire?
It's a well drop, which makes it quite rare for you to kind of get. So make sure that you're checking your rolls that you get with this each and every time that you kind of get one in the world to drop. And
so do you go to the weaponsmith to try to get more rolls? Or
you
go
can
to Vanguard, or?
You can go to the weaponsmith, the gunsmith, because he might have a roll for you that you could try and get. I'm just trying to find mine. I found it earlier, and then I shuffled a few things around in my vault, and I'm like, where's it gone? It's definitely there. It's a pulse rifle. It should be there, and I've moved it, and I can't find it now.
You know, there's a search in Dim you can use.
I know, but the problem is I typed it into Dim, and Dim went, we don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like,
oh, yeah. Oh, maybe you deleted it.
No, I didn't, because I've only just...
No, I think you've deleted it.
No, I haven't.
You have.
Uh-oh, Spaghettios.
Gone. You had it, now it's gone.
Found it.
I don't think he ever had it.
Found
I
it.
think he's what do you call it when you try to plant a false memory?
No.
Gaslighting. He's gaslighting us.
I found it. It's a stasis pulse rifle, so it's in the kinetic slot. And I've got one that has got headstone, outlaw, extended barrel, and small bore on it with a range master work.
It's a pulse, you said?
It is, but it's one of the slow firing ones. So it is comparable to it's a high impact one. So it's along the same lines as the Messenger, Legal Action 2, Relentless, Redrick's Broadsword, if you've still got one of those. So it's one of the high impact ones. And
what's it called again?
It's called the Cyhamatic 5, and it's a well drop that you can get. And if you see it, it's unmistakable. I swear they've just kind of taken what the Hopscotch Pilgrim, which was a really good weapon in Destiny 1, and just kind of put that model in Destiny 2. It looks really cool.
Oh, there it is. Oh, I don't even have one of those yet.
33 impact, 61 range, and 48 stability base. It has a reload speed of 34, aim assist of 32, zoom of 18, and airborne effectiveness of 15. And the recoil direction is 75, so it's perfect, according to Cool Guy.
You could get that up to 90, though, to be even better.
You could, possibly. So it can roll with Kill Clip, Headstone, Headseeker, Golden Tricorn, Frenzy, Perpetual Motion, with Outlaw, Encore, Elemental Capacitor, Enlightened Action, Moving Target, and Heating Up. And it has the new Origin trait, Wildcard, which final blows with this weapon have the chance to create those experimental submunitions at the target's location. So the little Telesto bolts that are kind of dotted around.
Really?
It is real. It is real.
Yeah, I just saw that in my raid. They kept dropping, but they were green though. Not Telesto colored. I expected them to be purple, but the ones that they were dropping were green.
Yeah, but you have.
Is it green for everybody, or is it green for you?
Well, it's the same color as my Beyblade, so
that doesn't help me.
Yeah,
my Beyblade is green. It's Strand. So anyway, going back to what you said about recoil direction being 75, for a lot of the new players, I don't think we've discussed this in a while, but recoil direction obviously you know what it is. It's how the weapon behaves upon firing. So does it go up, to the left, to the right, how much, whatever.
Yes.
Right.
That's how it recoils.
So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean it's a recoil direction, but it's not just the direction. It's also how intense it is and which way it goes. Right. So the higher the number, the less effect the recoil will have. Like the less it will jump. Right. The less distance it will jump. Right. And the direction it goes, whether left, right, or middle, you want a multiple of 5. So if it ends in a 0 or ends in a 5, that's going to be the best kind of straight up direction that you're going to want. So submachine guns, pulse rifles, auto rifles, things like that, you really want that recoil direction to be straight up and down because it's easier to control, right? 75 is really, really good. But let's say if you added a mod on there called counterbalance stock, that's going to add 15 to that, making it 90. Now, why is that important? It's still a multiple of 5, but it's a 90, which is higher. So that means as it rises up, it will go less distance upon the rise.
Less recoil.
Less recoil, right? So it'll still go that same direction. It's still going to go it's going to go from straight up center to kind of slightly up and to the left if it ends in a 0, right? As opposed to a 5, which is straight up and down, but it's got a bigger kind of left to right radius. But because it's a higher overall number, the recoil will be less severe for you to have to control.
I just want to kind of reiterate what you were saying about the numbers. So the best increments are 5 numbers. So 5, 15, 25, 35, because that is down the middle. And the lower the number, so if it's say 10 or 15, it will be like right down at the bottom scale of the recoil direction. So if it's a 10, it will go over towards the right more. Violently over towards the right, and 20 will be violently over towards the left, and it works like that on a kind of spring system. So 15 would be in the middle of that, but it would still be quite a high recoil, whereas if you go up to kind of 75, 85, 95, that is kind of dead center, kind of it won't bounce any much out of like left and right, and 100 is just like up and down, and it depends.
It's perfect.
It's kind of the
hardly
perfect
any recoil at all.
Fallout did do a video on it, which I will try and find, and I will link in our show notes because it was in one of the show notes like way back when. But if you are interested, Fallout did do a breakdown of the video showing you all the different variations, and like there's a graph out there. You can just type it into Google search with recoil direction Destiny 2, and it will show you kind of each increment as well. So you can look at it without having a look at the video. But yes, you want to kind of get one that's got like 5, 15, 25, 35.
Oh, fusion rifles too. It's very important for fusion rifles, that recoil direction. Yes, forgot about that.
So the counterbalance mod will give you plus 15 to whatever your kind of balance is. So at the moment, for instance, I've got an Oversoul Edict that has a recoil direction of 49. So it is way over like on the right. It's still quite violent. I mean, I've just used it and just tested it out, and it's
still quite violent.
Well, I mean, even at 50 recoil direction, it's still kicking like a mule. And if I put the counterbalance stock on there, it takes it to 64. So it's still like a mule, but it's not. It's a bit more controllable down in the center.
Middle, yeah.
So
it's almost the multiple. It's almost the 5.
Yeah.
So it's almost in the middle. Yeah.
So if you have a recoil direction of say like 25, putting a counterbalance on there wouldn't be the best thing to do that because it would take it to 40 and would kick it right over towards the left.
So that's a good point. Yeah, you can actually make it worse by doing that.
Sorry, the graph's around the other way. So it's 10 that goes out towards the left, 20 would go over to the right. So 10, 30, 50, 70 and 90 goes to the left, 20, 40, 60 and 80 go to the right. There you go.
So if you've ever wondered why your gun kicks to the left or the right, but you have a high recoil, that's why. And we found does the counterbalance mod do anything? Recoil direction explained from Fallout Plays from 4 years ago, it looks like. We'll throw in the show notes.
Wow. Yeah. God.
Is that the one where he gets like really into it and starts showing you like on the wall all the patterns everything makes and everything?
I think so.
Is that one? Yeah.
I don't know because I've just found it, but I'm assuming that's the right one. There is a graph showing weapon
if
kick
it's
and
Fallout,
recoil
it probably
direction.
is. He goes into like extreme detail. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it really has a good visual indicator of basically, what we're trying to explain with like, basically does the gun kick left or does the gun kick right. So he sort of shows on a graph, where the number is 0 to 9 on your, 10, 20, 30, 40. Does it kick left? Does it kick right? Or does it kick more vertical? And, zeros and fives is basically, it's going to be a little more vertical on the recoil. So when you're trying to land shots on, whether it's in PvP and you're trying to take someone down, or you're fighting a boss and trying to land those crits, having a little bit of vertical recoil is easier to fight against than if you're trying to adjust left and right and vertical to keep your reticle on target.
Absolutely.
So we'll let Fallout explain with his graphs. He'll do a better job.
And I'm kind of biased. I'll admit my bias, but I think Fallout is probably one of the best YouTubers for Destiny, like info, right? Like if you're wondering how something works or why it works, he's got shotgun spreads. He's got counterbalance stuff. He's got what each mod does and why. If you want to know why fill in the blank in Destiny 2, Fallout's probably got a video, and it's going to be very detailed on it. Now, I'm not saying there's other YouTubers out there that don't do the same thing or that don't do it better.
I think you are.
Fallout. Well, no, I'm just saying from my experience.
No, I think you are. I think that's what you're saying.
Has been the best source of information. I'm going to
send this to who's your boy, Rick Kakis. I'm going to send this clip to Rick Kakis and tell him.
By all means,
Rick Kakis won't be pleased at all. Yeah, and his explanations are very easy to understand. If you're sitting here thinking, I don't want to get into the weeds of all of this, it's like, no, it's very easy to understand. There's good visuals going. Here's what this means. This is not playing 4D chess. This is going. Here's what this means. Here's a visual indicator of what we're talking about, so you can understand what this all is.
Yeah,
until you get to the shotgun cones, and then that goes over my head.
Yeah,
and you just say, just don't use shotguns. Problem solved, and then you're good.
Anyway, going back to the video I was trying to tell you about, which was from Cool Guy, which is over the Cyhematic 5 pulse rifle. Go and check the video out because it is a hidden gem, like he says, and it may be worth getting for PvP. So it's a decent one if you can't get yourself a messenger or you haven't got a high impact pulse rifle.
What's the submachine gun? The Immortal. That's right. Yeah.
He's not talking to us again. It's okay.
Okay.
Just the voices in his head.
No, I'm talking to you.
Okay.
Yeah, because you were mentioning that as a PvP gun, and I was thinking to myself, well, the Immortal is still pretty good. Like, would you get that over the Immortal? That was my train of thought, right?
I preferred the Messenger over Immortal, but that's
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%, because I am not good with close quarters SMGs.
Well, that was the thing about the Immortal, wasn't it? Is you didn't have to be that close. You could have some range between you.
It doesn't matter. Still not to go with it.
Fair enough.
So yeah, that's my tips, tricks, guys, and builds. Have you guys got any videos that you've seen this week?
Yes, I did the whole one-shot body shot, which I already explained to you guys. And there's another one I put in there just for funsies, if you guys want to watch. It shows people with their modded weapons literally deleting every single raid boss. Like
from the broken
they took it. The craftable, not the craftable, the glitched craftable weapons. They are just. I've never seen bosses die this fast in the game. It is funny to watch, honestly. So if you're just looking for giggles or maybe an idea of what to craft before you can't do it anymore, not a bad video to watch, especially if you're into PvE.
Okay.
Really, if you're in both, because if you want to go flawless, this is your weekend. Craft yourself a broken weapon and jump in there.
Yeah, but everyone else has crafted broken weapons too, dude.
So I'm saying there's never been a more equal footing to go into. It's like laser tag weekend. There's never been a better time to go in. You're all on equal footing, more or less. You all have broken OP stuff, so go for it.
I tell you what, though, if Bungie was going to give us an emblem for weapon crafting like they did for laser tag, I would 100% go craft a weapon.
They are. They've said they are going to do it.
No, they're not. Show me.
So you don't know they aren't.
It's in next week's TWAB.
It's in next week's TWAB? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't tell us beforehand on that one either. So
yeah,
go do it and hope for the best. See what happens. Or at least go play trials, even if you don't have a broken weapon. Because they just gave it to you if you step foot into trials that weekend at all.
Like you said, I might go in there and hopefully find 2 people with broken weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not bad. I want to do the raid, though, while this is in effect, because I want to just melt all the bosses with somebody else's weapons, of course. Other than that, is there anything else? Are we done? Because there's an awful lot of awkward silence.
I think the only other awkward silence is there's this whole group of people standing over there in the corner. There's Zep Orbit over there who we tried to threaten with a good time and can't be done.
Won't let it happen.
There's guys that have been dancing this entire podcast. I don't know how you didn't notice the T-Rex King, Scarlet KM, BHS Nightcrawler, Melo Mally, and Dedicated Wham. I mean, they've been dancing in the corner the entire time.
Well, they dance every time. I just kind of block them out at this point.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess it's just sort of like window dressing. I mean, there are all those grenades that Carver 2782, Golden God 1562, basically Salt, Zombie Pops, and Renard Callant just keep continuing to throw
Those
to help
are
our
a little less
dancers
easy to
stay on
ignore.
point.
I'll give them that.
Yeah, I mean, and Deacon has been working hard with her raid team of Dimwheat, Gravy, Jeff, PP Pipe, and the Drifters Driftwood. So, I mean, there's lots of stuff going on, and we appreciate all of these lovely people standing there in the corner, dancing, throwing grenades, being threatened, and, trying to be the best raid team they can be, because they are lovely patrons who have gone to patreon.com/TTH and said, we appreciate what you do, and here's some money to do it.
These guys
Are you
actually
doing
pay
it?
us to do this. Can you believe that?
I can,
Wow.
and we love each and every one of them individually in their own special way.
Yes. Special being the key word there, by the way.
Mhm. And if you don't feel loved in an individual special way, email Respawn about it and take it up with him.
Yeah. FYI, Respawn's complaint box just leads right into the shredder, just so you know.
Respawn is the complaint department. It is a perfect system.
You got a complaint about Respawn? Good. He's in charge of the complaint department.
Yeah, couldn't be done better. You know what also couldn't be done better? The ending of this show. So I say thank you for joining us. Your Titans are Peroty and Night Demon. Your
What up?
Clown and Hunter Master Race is no one response in real life.
As well.
You can and should email the show at 2titansanahunter@hotmail.com. Show me your broken weapons. Show me the beautiful monstrosities
Yes.
you've crafted.
So
We
many.
want to see them in action. We want to see screenshots. Show me the beautiful mess you've made. And
I'll tell you
what
what,
we're going to show
I'll
you.
put a cherry on top. Hold on. Respawn's
cher-
going to
what
say
cherry?
this right here live.
A cherry?
Right?
Hmm?
A little cherry. Those of us that send
Cherry
us
Night
the
Demon.
funniest, most broken clip, I'll send a $50 gift card to.
Oh. So what's our deadline? By whenever Bungie patches this, or by
I
the
will-
when
I
the
will
next
give
TWAB
it-
drops?
I will give it
When
a
do the
week
people have?
after it's been patched. A week after it's been patched for you to submit all the shenanigans.
Seems like a silly deadline, but sure, we'll go with that.
Because, I mean, they got to have time. Some people like to edit. Some people want to make it look good, right? So I'm going to give them time to do that. Right? You got times to make the weapons. You got times to make the clips. And I'll even give you a little extra to edit it if you want to.
All right, so Night Demon, add this to your notes that Respawn said this, because we're going to have to play this clip back to Respawn in 2 or 3 weeks to remind him of him saying this. So
God.
if you do want to enter this, if you actually edit Respawn saying this into your entry, that would really help him out.
I mean, they're not wrong. It's sad, but they're not wrong. But yeah, where do they submit it at, though, Peroty?
I mean, I think you should email us, 2titansanahunter@hotmail.com. That is the best and easiest way to do it.
Okay. Because didn't we used to have a chat in our Discord for submissions? I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's fine. As long as if it's out there on socials, give us a link and we'll check it out.
Yeah. Put it wherever you want to, upload it, link it wherever you'd like to link it, but shoot us an email and say it's here. Go look at it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that way we don't have to try to dig through Discord and find all of them, and then also look at email, also look at this. So yeah.
Yeah,
You can
I want the
put it in
most
Discord
over the
too,
top,
but just tell us an email that this
potentially
happened.
funny weapon that you think you can design. Yes, absolutely. And then
Oh,
once again,
beautiful.
we have a 3-judge panel. We will decide on who's got the best. I will probably get overridden like usual. But yeah, so there you go. Live, new contest as we go.
New and only, as far as
Yes.
everyone knows. So yes, 2titansanahunter@hotmail.com. We're going to say it again, just so it's been said. I'm also going to say you can find us at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, 2 Titans and a Hunter, everywhere. Just type that in, you're good to go. You can find this show wherever you get your podcasts. And you should follow us on YouTube for each new episode, weekly update video, live streams, and Night Demon telling you all the things you're going to encounter this week, next week, and in the weeks to come. 2titansanahunter.com will bring you to the show, all of the show notes, all these show notes we keep telling you about. Hey, that link is here, that YouTube video is there, that cool site we pointed you to 2titansanahunter.com. It's all there in beautiful text and lovely hyperlinks. And if you would like to join our Otter Dance Troupe, threaten us with a good time, throw more grenades, or train to be Deacon's Day 1 raid team, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/TTAH. If you just want to throw some shekels in our direction, coffee.com/2titans and a hunter, that's ko-fi.com, 2 titans and a hunter, all spelled out, which you can spell by now because you found the show. Good job. Congratulations. And if you'd like the thrill of live action with spicy language, head over to twitch.tv/no-one-respawns in real life. That's NO1 respawns in real life, all spelled out in lovely words. Or again, if you go to the show notes, it's there too, linked. And if you want to keep it family friendly like a proper British gentleman and receive some level of assistance getting to, through, or into raids, twitch.tv/2titans and a hunter. And you should go to both those places. You should hit the button, you should hit the bell, and then you'll know when they're live. Because when are they live? Well, I can't tell you. That's why you have to go there and find out for yourself.
Indeed.
And with that, I think we did it. We've completed another week in Destiny.
We did a thing. We did a thing. Yeah.